So if you hear like an airplane fan, like how audible is that? I have like this air filter thing going on because like, you know, the dander and the, you know, the dust. But it's honestly sounds like I have a jet engine in the bedroom. As if this is my bedroom, in the living room, whatever this room is. Okay, it's not too bad? Okay. Hello, AFK Noob. Good morning. Thank you. First, thank you, Baggins. Thank you for stepping up and taking over. We're going to have a pretty good review today because we've not only got the Diamond Ball, but we also have the Pro Zarya as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. One of my old students, Alex. Hey, Dolas.
I have two accounts, 3,200 and 2,800. I'm stuck on both.
No.
Is Hello Hell real? In playing Zarya and Diva mostly BTW.
No, of course not. I mean, you know that's not the case, so I don't know why you ask. But thank you for the sub, though. I appreciate it. No. You're just, if you're stuck on different accounts, it's because you're playing differently, your mentality is different, or you haven't played enough games in either one. Like, the difference between 3,200 and 2,800 isn't massive. It's pretty significant, but it's not massive. It's not like you're going to be like, I'll be able to carry every single game easily. Like, it's different. Like, it happens at all tiers of all levels. So, who knows? But no, it's not real. Like, you can get unlucky, but unlucky is like, luck is only really enough to be blamed for like a dozen games or so at most, you know? Like, unless you're a complete statistical anomaly. It's like saying if there's a 50% chance of you winning every single game, you'd have to be getting the bad luck of the dice roll like I don't even know how many times in a row to have that much of a gap. Have you seen the San Francisco shot versus Nixel scrim vods? I have. I've not watched all of them yet though. I was discussing. So like, here's the thing, chat. I'm torn. I was talking about this with my mods. I'm actually writing this down because I need to finish watching them. And because they were leaked, I was like, yeah, Bazo, you know, I don't want to, like, nah, no good. But then everybody's talking about them, so clearly everybody has seen them. And then worse than that, on r/competitive Overwatch, somebody posted, they had like a top comment with all the replay codes. They're just sharing them. Hey, if you guys want to see them, you want to watch out? I was like, whoa, and they let the mods let it stay up. So I don't know, like, it's rough. It's rough, man. I don't know whether I should do a review or not. What do you guys think? Because at first I was like, oh, it's a leak, you know, not cool. But then literally, nobody's acting like it's a big deal. And I don't think it's that big of a deal either, but I was on the fence with it. I was on the fence for sure. Maybe instead of doing that review, I'll review, like, wasn't there a show match, an Overwatch League show match recently? Wasn't there a show match recently? I suppose it's because in Diamond people are playing main tanks more often, so I can play the game. Yeah, that's maybe true. That's maybe true, Dolas. If you don't know how to jump over this roadblock, you need to figure it out. Like, the thing with you understand with you, Dolas, is you're a smart player, and you're a good guy, but you tend to deal with these roadblocks, and you just throw up your hands, and then you don't know what to do. This is like life skills. This is a life skill of, this is a really, really rough situation. I need to figure out how to beat it. So if you're stuck, you need to figure it out. Like, I can help you, I can review with you, but at this point in time, I've reviewed with you a lot, and I've given you a lot of pointers, so it's not like the game knowledge is there. You need to practicing figuring it out on your own. Like, I realized this when I was coaching a lot of my teams. Like, at some point, you can't hold people's hands. You need to figure it out. You can do it. I believe in you. You're just not stupid. You're a smart guy. You're a hard worker. Go figure it out. Go figure out what the issue is. Review your games. Look at your training time. Go figure it out. And you'll feel much better about yourself. The next cup, yeah, maybe I'll do some of those games, because like the scrim footage looked pretty interesting, but like, I mean, might as well review the tourney games and not have the you know, being on the border. May I say you look especially nice today? Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. But does anybody know if the tourney VOD is like accessible? Like, is that easy? Is it like was it a Twitch stream? I didn't watch it. If any of you guys in chat know like where to watch it or where to get like the VOD from YouTube or Twitch, can you shoot me a message on Discord? Because I'd love to go over that this week. Yeah, because that's the thing, Dolas, is like when you're done with Overwatch, Dolas, like maybe what you've learned from like figuring this kind of crap out will actually help you in real life, man. Like, I had this issue with one of my players, I won't say who, I've coached in the last year and a half or so, and he was a really good mechanical player, but his mentality, like, he was so inconsistent and so up and down, hot and cold with his mental, and it affected his gameplay. Like, not just, oh, like he was playing poorly because he was angry. He literally he just couldn't hit shots. When he was up and emotional and upset or distracted or not focused, he literally could not hit shots. Like, he was insane mechanically, but when his mental wasn't there, he couldn't hit shots. So I really strongly recommend that. Not saying that you're like on the same level necessarily, but if it's something that you're struggling with, you need to figure it out, because this is an opportunity to like take some action about something that's not just about because it's not just about Overwatch, guys. That's really just not. It's way more important than that. You watch it in Dogman's Twitch. All right. Well, so Kitty, if any of you guys could send me the link, I would really, really appreciate it. Antagon? Wait, what? That name sounds familiar. I find it very hard to believe that anyone would sell an account for $5K. I don't know what the Overwatch black market's like, but I would be surprised if anyone bought an account for more than like $400, $500, and that would be like really suspect. That would be like all skins, etc. Life is temporary, SR is permanent. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, we're gonna go over some Diamond Ball. I tried to delay it a little bit because the coachee wanted to try and catch as much as possible. So I'm trying to delay it, and they are they're on the way. They're not going to be here just yet, so I'm trying to delay it a little bit. Contenders off. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Why? How did he sell? Why did he sell his account? And why did he sell it for 5,000? There's no way he sold for 5,000. There's no way. Maybe there's like some Middle Eastern gold, like I don't know, what is the term for it? Shoot, what's the term? But maybe some like rich dude. I don't know. That seems crazy though. 5,000. Weird. Okay. Chic. That's the word I was looking for. Some gold chic. I don't know. No idea. That seems crazy. Yeah, gold skins, pre-order skins, Pink Mercy, and more. Yeah, I would agree with that, Duelos. And even then, 5,000, man. Like that's insane. Okay, let's go over some ball. So the interesting thing about my reviews is I'm not sure if it's just because I've been consistently reviewing higher ranked games. Like, it's been mostly high plat, diamond plus. There've been very few gold, silver games. It's been mostly meta, which has been nice in a way because it's been able to kind of stay on the topic, and also higher ranked VODs are generally a little bit more fun to review. But in a way, it's a little bit like, oh, it's the same heroes over and over again. Like, if you look at this comp on, blue, we've seen Kree, Ball, Sigma, Zen before. Ana and Genji's a little new. And then even if we skip in the game a little bit, get a little bit of Team Red, like we've seen Echo, we've seen Zen, we've seen Mercy, we've seen a little bit of Zarya as well. We'll see more Zarya today, but it's generally like this. Like, there's clearly the meta starts to evolve rather, the higher up in rank you go, because people start to realize that, hey, this hero is pretty good. It's a little easier to play, so they'll exploit it. And there's also the mathematical thing of, if you're playing a slightly easier hero, then you're going to climb slightly higher. So like you're going to generally see like more meta heroes higher ranked, because players are just going to climb easier with them. Some people have money and don't know what to do with it. That's true. I guess the question for me would be like, he must have known who he sold it to, because like I feel like you could find an account at Antagon's level for a lot cheaper. And again, I don't speak from experience, but my gut just tells me. Anyway, but who knows? I don't know anything about that. So, okay, so I guess we're gonna go over some ball stuff. So specifically, Elenix, we'll just call it Elenix for now, told me that I already know about my engagement timing. I know I could have used my adaptive shields better. Is there anything else that you can give me in terms of feedback? So obviously we're not going to ignore those errors, but I'm not going to go harp on and on and on about it. Basically, we'll TLDR it right now, so when I go over it later, I don't have to go over it as much. Especially considering we've done that a lot with previous ball reviews recently. No, this is wrong order. The engagement timing with ball is that you are initiating, whether it's slamming, booping, dueling, doing something, at the same time that your team is either in a position to shoot the enemy team, or the enemy team is doing something as well. So you're either initiating, or you're letting the enemy team initiate, and then you're responding. But you're always doing it as 6. You're never doing something super far away from a team where your team can't help you, or vice versa. In other words, your team is doing something and you're out of position, pathing, getting health back. It's like it's too late at that point. In terms of adaptive shield usage, there's really 2 ways that you can use it. The one way is that you can go for a play. In other words, you roll or slam through the enemy team, and you just use your adaptive shields to get the HP. And because it lasts, I don't know how long. Okay, chat, I gotta check this. How long does adaptive shields last? Does anybody know? Wrecking Ball. How long do adaptive shields last before they fade away? I'm gonna look this up really quick. 5 or 6 seconds? 7 seconds. 7 seconds. Okay, so 7 seconds. So you can go through and you can use adaptive shields, maybe unnecessarily, like not unnecessarily, but through the enemy team, and then kind of use that adaptive shield to continue to aggress and aggress and aggress and aggress. Now, obviously, you have to be careful that you don't waste it and be like, oh, I used that, I didn't really need to use it. The other way to use it is that you do, when you are committing, you are initiating, you use it as like a defensive cooldown. So you can either use it preemptively, like anticipating pressure that allows you to stay in longer, or you can kind of use it a little bit reactively. Sometimes I recommend people to use it preemptively when they're going into heavy CC, because sometimes if you get, flash, slap, whatever, you might not even get a chance to press it before you die. But, looking at the enemy composition, I think you should be okay. Like, yeah, there's bash and freeze, but you should have time enough to press it. So we won't go over as much engagement timing. Make sure you're engaging where your team can commit with you. Make sure that you're not wasting adaptive shields when you wouldn't need it, and make sure that you're getting as many people as possible when you do use it. So let's look at this.
1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Yeah, so Savvy Drone right there. So like to me that seems more reasonable. Antagon is a contenders player, so like probably 4.6, but still. Okay. So he's scouting, so this is good. I don't know if you're communicating with your team, but if nothing else, that kind of information is useful for you. So you see Symmetra, you need to immediately reposition. Okay, so now this is what we want to see, because what we're going to be going for here is as they TP, you need to boop. Right as they TP. The timing is crucial. I'd probably be going in about 1 second, if not sooner. By the way, nice name, Melkor. For those of you guys, Lord of the Rings fans, it's a nice little touch. But yeah, roll through, and hopefully the Symmetra bots out, places a TP, and then she screws up. That's probably the timing that we're looking for here. Because if you look at this here, even though they have not TP'd yet, so you've not really split the TP, what you do have here is you have an enemy team that's in a position that they do not want to be. They do not want to be here. They want to be here TPing. So even if they do TP, they're taking a significant amount of damage before they even TP, which is exactly what your team wants to do. You guys want to have them TP, and then they're already half dead. So, good. So they've already used the CC there. A little bit of preemptive adaptive shields. Maybe not necessary, but we won't click on it too much. Yeah, so a little bit of adaptive shields and just not respecting Mei. That's you get a lot done in terms of like your value, not even necessarily your ult charge, but you get a lot done in terms of like the actual value that you're going. But then this roll through is great. You stop your roll through and shoot, fine. But at this point in time, you need to respect the Mei. You can see the Mei, you need to respect the Mei. You need to be entering your ball form. You instead greed, continue to shoot, and continue to melee, and then trade your life for it. Because obviously at that point in time, you're too close, you do not have grapple, and because you use your adaptive shields, shaky here, you're in a really bad position here. Okay, so the good news is that this fight's not totally losable because you did force lamp. They are relatively low HP, and you guys are putting out a lot of pressure. So maybe you guys still win this, potentially, but it's going to be rough with the Genji. Yeah, the Genji doesn't do a whole lot there. He really needs to like dash through 6 to be able to do a lot of damage. Their comp isn't great for Genji. You guys would prefer something a little bit higher damage. So engagement timing was fine there. Your micro was not. Certainly not your cooldown usage, and then like how long you overstayed your welcome. Again, here, disengage is fine, but remember, you really don't want to hard commit. You want to disrupt, buy time for your team, slow them down so that your team can get more spam in, but I do not want you hard committing. So you can slam here, but you're going to slam and roll away. Exactly. Brilliant. There you go. That's what we like to see. Only in my stream would I have people checking out how to buy an account and how much they're worth. I guess that works, so, you know. Alright, please, 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 please. Oh, they're scared. Yeah, they're scouted. They're scared. They're not going to go for it. Alright, I gotta cover my power button. Cat, please do not step in my power button. I'm so paranoid because every single time my cat walks over to my computer, she puts her paw right near the power button, and I'm like, oh. 3,100.
My ultimate is charging.
Actually, 3,100. Okay, same thing again, except you're gonna be able to like put mines right in it.
My ultimate is ready.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. So you get sniped. That's unfortunate. Don't rush. You're alright. Okay. So, a little bit of an overhold here, to be perfectly honest. So they are committing mail and rally. But, we won't say too much anyway, but I'm a little bit hesitant about the whole mail. Or the rally. Not the rally, excuse me. Holy cow. The mines. Okay, I guess that helps, you know, them wasting an ultimate. Okay, nothing to say here. This is going to be pretty fast. Like, we're going to be going right down the list. Your job is to disrupt them and engage on them, like, as they're engaging. Like, ball into symmetric comps is one of the most vanilla, straightforward things that you could do. There's nothing complicated about it. You mess up their TPs, you mess up their engagements, and you try and survive. That's basically all there is to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, why would you sub? Hey, boy. Okay. So, this is the big one. This is where you really hope that your Hanzo gets a good dragon here, or that your trance is able to stall out enough, because this is the most deadly ultimate that they have. Arguably even more than Graph, because it enables their win condition more than any other ultimate. And their win condition is to just sit on point and kill anybody that comes close. Having a magnificently, ridiculously big shield, hey, Oxus, is just, it's a free fight win. So it's really important that you get a good boop here. I think the best type of boop in this instance would be to try and not just boop them forward, but if you could, to try and boop them into the low ground, so where they're not able to do a lot. They're not able to do a lot of damage, or they're isolated away from the wall. So we'll see what we do here. So that's the thing. So you're doing this, and this is good, but, you know, fool me once, fool me twice, fool me thrice. You know what I'm saying? You've done the same thing with success twice in a row, and for the first time now, if you actually look at this Briggs POV, she's actually expecting you to engage here. I assume so. Yeah, she's expecting you to engage. So she should have bashed you. That would have been a little less risky for her if she just bashed you and then whip-shotted you. It would have been fine. But the damage is still done, and the fact that you're not really getting anything done now. Now, this Dragon ult looks like it should be still okay, but I'm a little concerned. So the takeaway here is that you're doing the same engage over and over and over and over again, and they have the CC to stop you from doing that. You need to mix it up. So, chat, what do you think here? Like, I want you to take a second, Lennox, and just think about what you could be doing differently here. Like, how could you change? Because I think the goal of booping them in this location is still the desirable result, right? But there's different ways that you could do that. You look at the situation here. Maybe you could go up top and pile drive teleport instead. Yeah, you could drop, pile drive, and then grapple on here, and maybe, you know, roll the Rhine in, or maybe you could grapple here and roll through here. I probably wouldn't roll through them. Maybe you could drop, grapple here, and boop them like a, you know, golf swing them into the pit here. But there's options, okay? There's options that you need to be taking here, and this isn't it. Huge, that's brilliant. Like, that's what you guys see. They're gonna get the res, not a lot you can do about that. You could look for the boop on this res. Actually, now that I think about it, you should definitely be looking for the boop on this res. Because you look at the situation here, they're down one, they pop Valk, that's instantly red flag. Because if they get this res, this fight is now winnable. Still a big Hanzo ult. I'm sorry, this beeping is going to drive me nuts. Still a big Hanzo ultimate, but you need to be prepared to boop res. I think boop res is like, you put that in the category of micro things that you just need to start looking for. Like, for example, what's a good micro for, like, let's say Ana. Like, Orisa's shield's breaking, that's when you look for nade, right? Or when Reinhardt's fire strike, you look for sleep. You know, with Zenyatta, it's, you know, or Ana, for Ana, if you sleep a tracer, don't shoot nade unless, if you're by yourself, don't shoot nade. If she has recall, you shoot punch to force recall, because she's going to recall anyway, and then you nade after, you have nade afterwards, because shoot nade's not going to get the one shot. So there's a couple like micro things that each hero just needs to know. For ball, you need to have priority on booping res. Even if she's Valked, this is a very boopable res. You've committed your grapple, and I appreciate you going in. I think I would prefer you to like boop. Okay, that's all right. I mean, I think you would have preferred you to go for the Symmetra, but whatever, it's not a big deal. You ended up indirectly setting up a nade, so whatever. But like, this needs to not happen. You need to be looking for this. You can wait, what? You're kidding. Oh, man. I really hope you're my wife, because I'm going to kiss you in the mouth. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's excellent. Thank you. Unlucky, doesn't matter. Nice slam. Good use of the high ground there. Good priority on the brig. That's really important. It's not going to do anything. We're just delaying the inevitable. You guys have too many kills. Okay. Good to prioritize Zarya. There's nothing to say here. They've drawn this fight out. Very low chance of this actually working out, and you did fine. Okay, so micro-wise, definitely could be a little cleaner. I think like how you were moving around the map obviously is something. The thing with ball is like there's always the intangibles of like how you're moving and how you're using your cooldowns could always be like 10% better, you know. But I think for the most part, the big thing that we saw there was like you were predictable with your engagement, and then you didn't boop res. You didn't even look to boop res, and that's really concerning. The thing with res is it's not something that you're going to want to react to. It's like EMPing, trancing EMP. You do not reactively EMP trance only. You reactively trance it because you're anticipating it to happen. You need to think ahead of time. You need to think ahead of time. You need to know that it's happening. For example, right there, to get the kill in the brig, the Mercy Valks, there's your red flag. And you need to go, okay, hey, that body's campable. I can boop that. You know, if the brig dies up here, maybe a little trickier, don't worry about it as much. But that's a very boopable res. So don't make it a, oh, they're realizing I'm going to reactively grapple into that. No, you need to anticipate it. So if you see somebody where they're dying, we're in a very resable location, you need to have a third eye in there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you never autopilot. Never autopilot. You see Mercy? That's like, you look at their comp and like, the only thing you need to worry about is don't overstay your welcome and, you know, boop the Mercy. Can ball boop res and Valk? Yes. It depends on the, obviously, yes. If the Valking Mercy is like resing up here, like if she can get the res started and like, you know, get way up high, yes, but you should still look for it. Because if you look at where she reses, I still think it was maybe resable. Or maybe boopable. Because we'll look at it really fast. Because she does pop out, you're right. And it doesn't mean she can res like higher. But do you see where she actually resed here? I think this was potentially boopable. Right here. Maybe. Maybe not. And even if not, the fact that we didn't even look to see is concerning. Because yes, maybe that one was not boopable, but there will be another one that is, and if you're still not going to look at it, it's like you didn't wear your seatbelt, you got in a car accident, you're fine. But that doesn't make not wearing your seatbelt excusable. Can pile drive cancel res? I don't know. No, I don't think so.
My ultimate is charging. Up here.
Okay.
Join me.
So, in this composition here, they've given up the TP route, which means that your responsibility is a little bit different. Your engagement timing is still important, but in terms of your role, what do you think is a little bit more important for you to contribute? The booping is still good, right? You can boop, like if you look at the situation here, if you can boop them off of high ground, great. But what's a responsibility that's added to your I guess not quota, but to your list? What's a response? Chat. What is something that our ball needs to kind of be working at a little bit? Now, keep the Ashe pressured. Exactly. If she's isolated, if she's super isolated, you want to keep the Mercy pocket on her. If she's, you know, left clicked, if she's heal beamed and shooting you and trying or coach gunning you, then she's not shooting your team under damage boost, and your team is taking a 5v4. So that's something you want to be doing. It's not your only responsibility, but like really, ball is like one of those heroes that there's so many things that you can be doing. So you just have a checklist of things that you can do, and you look at the situation and go, okay, which one's working? Okay, I can't go for a boop here. This is a bad place for a boop. You know, the Ashe Mercy is in a really, they're all clumped up in one clump. So I can't boop. I can't, you know, I can't go for the Ashe Mercy because they're not split. They're with the team. That's okay though, because it means they're doing less damage. So then I'm gonna just wait for them to go to point and pile drive Ham in Mind. right? Or, okay, the Ash Mercy is stacked with a group, but this is boopable, so I go for the boop. Okay, I can't go for a boop, but the Ash Mercy is super isolated, so I'm gonna go for the Ash Mercy. So you just need to be able to practice like reading the battlefield and making those decisions, right? It's just like positioning as like a Zenyatta or Ana. It's contextual, and you need to kind of look at the situation, decide how you want to position based off the situation. It's an important skill to work at. How does a ball player go about mitigating Zen's Discord breaks cooldowns, McCree cooldowns? So you have to be unpredictable. You have to time your engages well. And you have to not all in. So in other words, unpredictable so that the Brig, like we saw earlier, isn't ahead of time looking at you. So it's significantly easier for her looser cooldowns. Timing, make sure that you're engaging with your team or where your team can spam so that there's something drawing their team's attention away from you. In other words, if you're just going in by yourself, then they're all going to be able to focus you down and kill you. But if they're, the McCree's shooting your Hanzo, he's less likely to be able to quickly land a flash on you. And the third thing is not all inning, which means that when you do engage, it's most likely into like in an enemy comp that has a lot of CC, it's less of a slam in and just commit and more of a quickly roll through them, shoot a little bit, and roll away. And you might even bait cooldowns, but it's not going to matter. They're not going to be able to get anything done. Zimex taking the fault. So that's the goal. You got to be fast. You got to time it right so that there's distractions, and you got to be unpredictable about how you go in. Yeah, Mercy. I know. Mercy being played by Melkor. It's a little bit, I don't know. That's more of a Sauron move than a Melkor move, if you get what I'm saying, Baggins. This is definitely just not necessary. This is even more. Oh, and you're nano blading. Okay, you can't do this. I know you're not responsible for the nano blade, which is definitely more egregious than this, but it's 2 CP. You're 1 kill up right now. This is already a red flag. And see, here's my other problem about this as well. I think, okay, your Sigma's positioned up here aggressively. I really don't think rolling through here does that much. So I know this is Diamond. So there's lots of big fish in the sea in terms of like coaching, but I really actually think, okay, so actually no, you are 2 kills up when you roll through. The kill feed at the top is a little bugged there. So you're 2 kills up. You're 2 kills up. Now what's the issue with what you're doing right now? What's your issue with what you're doing right now? Let's just be impartial for a second and say what's the issue? Is doing what you're doing really the best way to engage in this situation here? No one is at fault, right? So your location isn't great either, okay? Your location isn't great either. Now, I will say this, is that your Sigma is aggressively positioned. So you doing something right now is okay. Like, I don't mind you doing something. What should you be doing, and why is grapple booping not it? I don't know what a Wrath AFK VOD is. Soft commit, okay? What could you be doing? I have a very clear vision of what this ball should be doing. Yeah, I think J-Bo is correct. I think you should just be shooting. I think you should just be shooting. Like, your team is doing something, right? So your timing is okay, right? But what does Boop accomplish here? Like, don't just grapple because it's there, because it's 50 damage. Like, what does this do? Okay, it boops the Mercy a little bit, but they wanted to go here. Like, this doesn't disrupt them. This doesn't move them into your team's LOS. They're fine. I would have just shot, and what is the Rhine going to do? He either ignores you and just basically you unload on him, or shoot the Mercy, whatever. Or he turns around to shield you, or, swing at you, and it's just as good. Even better than booping, because he's moving away from his team. And if he shields you, he's slowing down his rate at which he gets to his team. That, along with, and obviously the mine's the big problem here, but how you're engaging it, it's not good. Like, don't just grapple boop. If you have a reason to grapple boop, do it. Like, the reason you grapple engage is because the boop, but also because you move quickly. You don't want to stop and shoot against a comp with a McCree, right? Like, if you stopped and shot from behind with the Ash May alive, they would have shot you and you would have taken a lot of damage. But it was the Rhine. It's the Mercy. What are they going to do against you? I mean, yeah, it's clearly the moment that lost you this round. So, some suspect ult usage and how you're engaging isn't great. If you're going to go for a boop, it needs to be in the right spot. Even if the Ash May were there, I would still not want you engaging in that way. Because the boop you would need to boop the Ashmay. You wouldn't want to shoot against the Ashmay, but you'd have to boop in a location where the boop actually did something. That boop did nothing. What's up, nerds? Hey, Soren. I don't really like this move. Are you feeding ult charge? I mean, you're not really close to any support ults. You're not really close to your ultimate. I don't really know what you're hoping to accomplish here. I mean, unless you already track that they have like 6 ults, then maybe it's worth, but... Okay, they're on Soldier. Oh, that's your signature guy. Okay. And now you're in your... Oh, no. Oh, no. And you're very late. You're very late, and you mess up your grapple. But see, again, I have the question. Chat. Once again, I'm asking for your support. Is grapple, like... Oh man, okay, not only do you screw up your grapple, but like if you look at the situation here, like you don't even want to grapple, you just want to shoot. You want to shoot, then grapple right now. Then you grapple. And you still don't have grapple. Wait, how do you lose this? You don't lose this, do you? You guys are fine. So just how you're looking for these grapples doesn't make any sense. I don't know why you'd go for a grapple boop in here unless your team is literally taking the fight here, and your team is gonna like peek and like rock them or like blizzard them or something. I don't know. Like this isn't Hammond's dance mode. Baggins, remind me when the VOD's done. This is gonna be shameful. I actually need to remember to adjust channel points for like finding a new insult because you guys are gonna spam that. You'll be in class? Oh my gosh. I swear, Hammond dance emote. Okay, is it looped? Because I don't even know. Wait. We're gonna have to do it slow. We're gonna have to do it slow because my man is jumping all over the place. All right, so we got this. So he's facing. I'm gonna mirror it. All right, he's facing this way. Left arm here. Here, he's going like this. You know, and then the other way. And then and then you know he kind of jumps to the side here. Give it a little pull. Jump to the side here. You know what I'm saying? And then a little bit of a. Oh my gosh, I can't do this in the hard. What are you doing? This is the hard floor, man. I got a flipping bike over here. Oh my gosh. What are you... What? There you go. Idiot. I regret everything. Every single time I have like, oh, that would be fun. You know, maybe we'll get some fun. No, I knew. It's that instant feeling of like, what, why did I ever think this was a good idea? Okay. Anyway, yeah, you're just like grappling and just kind of like grapple is a boop. It is an engagement tool, but it is also a boop. If you're not dislodging people or using it as like as an escape cooldown or something like that, you just seem to just kind of like grapple engage, even though it doesn't really make sense for you to do that there. So, not a fan. This fight is still very winnable. Like, I know I was concerned. I thought you guys were gonna lose that fight, but you guys are in a very, very winnable situation. I mean, your Genji has like no ult charge, but you could just nano your Sigma. Ah, that's actually pretty big. They're mad. You know, no. Why are you here? Why are you here? No. This is not it. Like, look at this. Look at this Mercy. She's just so succulent and juicy. She's completely by herself. Melkor, the Dark Lord of Lord of the Rings, is sitting in a pink dress, and it's just a free kill. I don't know what you're doing. You're shooting, like, you're engaging straight at them on high ground instead of just booping them off or engaging in the, like, what are you gonna get done here? Absorb a butt cheeks load of damage. I don't know. I mean, mine's this, obviously. You don't really have a choice. This is too succulent. Like, you're gonna get... Yeah. Run. Oh, why did you stop? You absolute mouth-breathing boor. Look at this. Also, can we just admire this? Look at my boy. Look what you did to my boy! Look what you did to my boy! He is angry! You've disappointed him for the last time. What have you done? You have played frontline ball, then fed, instead of literally just grabbing a mega. Like, you're the stall hero, and you just sacrificed yourself to shoot a Valking Mercy who was nowhere near dying. Smithers, release the hounds. Do. Why have you done this? You've disappointed me for the last time. But yeah, that's pretty horrendous. The mines are fine. Good stall. Please stop shooting. Please stop shooting. Your job is not to shoot. If you can't secure a kill, your job is just to stall. Now you can shoot. Yes, 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 yes. You got OT though. Yes. Oh, oh. Okay, good. This bad. Okay. So, how you're engaging simultaneously needs, like, it needs more thought. Because obviously your role with the your engagement with the Symmetra stuff was pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy, right? But even when that was easy, you still found a way to be uncreative. So it was like, when it was easy, you're uncreative. When it was a little bit harder, you were just crap. Like, you were just garbage. You were just garbage. Like, you just did terribly. So I need you to do a better job of thinking about how you want to be engaging against enemy comps. And then when it's like pretty straightforward, you need to be more creative so that you're harder to counter. That, and also like the mines usage, like the mine / grapple usage, like I think the grapple usage kind of ties in with how you're engaging, because it was like you're just grappling in and not doing anything with it. But yeah, still have problems with panicking. I mean, you're giving me problems with panicking watching this. It's like anxiety plus. You ever a moment where you're just like, did I see that? No. No, that couldn't have been real. System prepared. So think, how do we engage? Jeez, your team is just getting rolled. How do we engage? How do we engage? How do we engage? You heard the doom? Yeah, it was just the like the grapple of like clonk, like you just screwed it up. It was just amusing. Okay, what do we do here? How do you think you engage? I mean, there's Soren. There's nothing he can do to stop that. Like, they were already down like 3. They're just finishing staggers, and until his team like actually resets and spawn, there's nothing he can do. No, it's just auto mod. Although I would prefer you to not say that. But yeah. Yeah, wait for them to fight at choke. Okay, then what? Give me some details here. Give me some details. Because you said, oh, I don't want to go over engagement timing. Fine. Then we need to go, then you need to be hitting on this other stuff. Anybody chat. Elenix, what can he do here? There's multiple options. There's hybrids. There's multiple things that he could be doing. Then pressure this endpoint. Okay, so sure. What I would like is doing what you're doing here. Then as soon as you start to like, they start to fall back, like if they, because someone's gonna have to come after you. I want you to go beat the poop out of Zen, or you roll through and grapple and smash the main line. And I think the Zen is probably the better play. Certainly the better play, but maybe like your team is hard pushing and maybe booping and the Ryan Zarya do more. I don't know, but there's options here, right? I like that you're pressuring point outside of enemy teams out of the west. That's good. No, I have not done the deep BH shot yet. A crotch 24, thank you for the fall. That's after this. We're like 2/3 of the way done though. Okay, but yeah. So what you're doing is fine. This is not it. Like, it's like it has. It's like you're like. It's like a beautiful ice cream sundae with like a chocolate covering on the outside, like a chocolate shell, and then you push your spoon through it, and it's just tuna. It's just tuna salad. It's just tuna. Or sardines or something. Like, I'm like, No. Like, you can hear the Zenyatta on your left. You start shooting, Melkor. You go for a grapple kill on her, but I don't really think this is the play. You mess up your grapple first off, so you don't even get the boop, and then you're stuck. And now you're screwed. Now you're screwed. Like, again, going for the Mercy is okay, but chat, why do I prefer going for the Zen? Why do you think it's more important to go for the Zen? There's two reasons. It's the trade-off of Overwatch. Why are the two reasons of why you go for Zen over the Mercy here? Zen has no movement, so he's squishy. Yes. Yeah, and not getting rid of the debuff. You don't remove the debuff by shooting Zen. He's going to discord you, of course. But the problem is if you don't pressure Zen, he's going to murder you. So you shooting Mercy here is okay, but you don't really give a rip about Mercy damage, right? So it's like, these are both squishies that you can kill, right? So I want you to choose the one that's more easy to kill. Now you can make an argument that killing the Mercy means they don't get res. I understand that. That's good logic. But the problem is you can't afford not to pressure the Zen. As long as the Zen is shooting you, you can't afford not to look at him or pressure him a little bit. You see what I'm saying? It's the same reason why a lot of times when you're ball, you might even pressure Widow over Mercy, because yes, if you get the kill on Mercy, wonderful, but she's hard to kill, and if you don't even look at the Widow, she's gonna kill you. So you have to, like, I think, so yes, I think you're, and I don't want to tunnel too hard on your target priority here, because the point being is that yes, your target priority was a little screwed, but it wasn't terrible. You just scuffed it. You just scuffed it hard. Like, by the way, in this point in time, you already at 464 HP, you need to immediately adapt the shields, and I would already be rolling away. Like, you enter ball form at like 300 HP while you're discorded. It's over, man. It's over. Game over, man! You know, like, it's over. You're done. You're gonna get beamed and you're gonna die. You don't even get beamed. Like, I don't know what this Echo is doing. Does she not have beam? She doesn't have beam. But, like, you're done. You're done. Like, the second that you entered ball form at 300 HP while discorded in the middle of the enemy team, you were over with. So not only did you mess up your grapple, you also arguably targeted the wrong person, and then you overstayed your welcome. Back to back to back. You have officially made... That's you? Yes, I know. Well, the problem is the difference between you, Lep, and this player is this player at least started off with the right idea. You start off with the wrong ideas and then make them worse. Like, there is no base starting point of, oh, that was good. It's just all bad. Alchemife? You can't even type. A genius in disguise? If he's a genius in disguise, the greatest genius that he has is the fact that he's in a disguise. You would have never thought that it was a disguise. Okay, so I don't love this either. Okay, you know what? Actually, it's okay. Like, the Echo goes back, fine. I don't love this. Okay, I do love this. I do love this. I do love the fact that you actually, like, screwed around and baited them and then ran away. That's good. That's really annoying. If you're the Echo Mercy. Oh, that's really annoying. Okay, but you need to go back to the set. Yeah. If you can kind of stall them around a little bit, you know, and then just go right back to what you were doing, it's like the best of both worlds. So, I like that. That was good. Yeah, you thought you could get the Mercy respawn. Yeah. I think that was fine. I think that was fine. And then when Echo falls back, kicks her anything from fall, you're like, okay, Echo's back with her. I'm just going to kind of bait them a little bit and then run away. Obviously, you don't stay there because Echo Mercy can and will kill you. It's better for at that point just to, you know, distract them and then go kill the Zen. How much do you have to pay for a VOD? Tier 1 is 20, Tier 2 is 25. If you're a sub, it's only $10 and $12, so. So like we're talking like Happy Meal prices. I'm sorry guys, I'm having like migraine pains. Just like that didn't actually happen, right? That didn't actually happen. This is all a dream. I'm sorry. I just need a moment. I need to like sit. You know what? Actually, this might be a good time to feed my cat. You don't have to, but it makes it a lot cheaper. I'm trying to find a way to motivate people to sub, but to where like there's actual, because like people at first we were like, oh, we just like you're a tier 3 sub and you get it, but I don't want to pay Twitch half of my thing. Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, mate. Child? You're a child. I don't understand. Like what? That's not like I don't understand. Like not, like, but my problem isn't even necessarily that like, okay, you 1v1 the Zarya. Okay, that's my main problem for sure. Like it's stupid. But it's like, why are you even pathing this way? Like as soon as you like, I think pathing this way is okay. But as soon as you see really anybody there, you screw off. Like there's so many ways to path on here. Like, that's part of the reason why Hanamar point B is like annoying to attack and defend, is there's just so much space. Like, okay, there's somebody there. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't even care if it's like a Zen. Like if I saw a Zen here, I probably wouldn't even path here. I would go underneath, you know, you can go through here, you can go main and drop, you can go main and left. You can obviously, everybody knows you can go around left side. There's like so many ways to engage. You can roll up, do your little space jump and engage this way. That's a good little micro thing that you should probably learn. But I'm sorry, Don. Look, you're literally built like a matchstick. And you notice how matchsticks, like you get to the top and their head's like this big. Their head is like as big as their body because their brains are very small. That is you. Very, very skinny, little tiny match. Burns very hot, but is very, very small and very, very silly. That is Don. All the Overwatch League teams were like, you know, Don is not really good enough to get in Overwatch League, but we all feel sorry for him. It was like a Make-A-Wish Foundation for Overwatch. Okay. Yeah, you're just woefully out of position. Be nice. Don is a great main tank. Don is one of my best buddies. One of my favorite players I've ever coached. And that's not even being me being nice. That's just the truth. Left 2. I've got two of my best buds in chat. Unironically. Okay, you just didn't do anything. Like there's nothing to coach. You just were out of position. You didn't do anything. Yeah. It pains him to say this. Yeah.
Sigma present.
Oh, please, my innards. What are you even doing? Like you're not in any rush. Why are you grappling? Like, it's not even that you messed up your grapple again. It's like, why are you even grappling? Are you pathing? Like, you're pathing, right? You're staging. You don't need grapple to get, like, why would you even grapple up here? You would prefer to be sneaky and not use your grapple and slam up here. Like, look at your team. You got time. You thought Ash should be in the window? Oh, were you going for a boop or something? Posture check, thank you. Were you going for a boop? Yeah? I hope that you're going for a boop, because I don't know what the plan was there. That was rough. This is why you have to kind of be like, you have to be better with your pathing. Like, I don't even know, like, they're not even on, wait. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me rewind just a little bit. I thought the ash would be in the window. Oh. Who? Hey, thank you, Fortin. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a great day, too. This is just like one of those situations where it's like, okay, maybe the Zarya is there, but like at what cost, you know? Because I hate to say engagement timing, but like they're all gonna look at you. You're just taking way too much damage, and you're like you're just taking way too much damage on these engages. And you're engaged, like how you're engaging. Like Ball is a hard hero. Ball is a very strong hero right now because he's like one of the only tanks that can consistently survive under the amount of spam that's meta right now. But there's so many little details to Ball, right? And like how to engage and where to engage and the mechanical aspect of it. And right now you're just misfiring. Like you're not even coming close. You're just like you're shooting off random shots. And it's like, maybe I'll go for a boop. Maybe somebody will be there, right? But what if not? Like, that's a 10% chance you land the boop, right? So I'm not saying don't try for these high-risk, high-reward plays, but at least have some guarantee that either there'll be follow-up or that somebody's even there. It just feels like you're randomly rolling dice and hoping something's happening. Don't. Go for the boop if there's somebody, if you know that somebody's actually there. Did you even know that somebody was there? Listen, I'm gonna cut you every little bit of slack I can until my arm falls off, right? Like, if you're gonna get roasted, at least deserve it. Like, right now. Okay. Who? I'm sorry. I just don't understand. Like, this is... Am I seeing this? Like, am I seeing this right? Where is the person peeking through the window? Okay, there's a Zarya. Zarya's gone. She's not even peeking anymore. You wait a long time. You mess up the grapple. Fine. You immediately go for Mega, you shoot the Echo, run away, you need to run away, you go out this way. I don't know why you go out this way when you could grapple, roll, grab mini, and come this way. Remember, the whole goal is to stage. If you go out this door, you reset your staging. You know, actually, maybe that's the bigger error. Why did you go back this way? That's like vacuuming up all the dust in the vacuum bag and then just dumping the vacuum bag out on the floor. Like, you spent all the work, like, getting in this area, and then you just leave. Saw it in a Roadrunner video? Yeah. Wait. That name sounds familiar. Where have I seen Roadrunner before? Oh, you're in my chat. I still see, sir, I've seen you before. Where have I seen you? Hurt your feelings? I'm sorry. Oh, duh! You! Yeah, of course. My bad. I follow you. No, this is all a big brain plot just to like completely destroy Roadrunner's confidence. But again, like, can I ask once more for your financial? For like, what is the goal here? Oh, he's going for the boop. Okay, so you're going for the boop again. It fails. You use your depth of shields quickly. Fine. And now you're gonna go again. I'm gonna echo what Don said earlier, and please go into custom game and practice this. The smidge you had left. Of what? Confidence? Brilliant! Now, chat, what's the plan? How should he use mines? What could he do? What do you guys think? Mine point? Okay, mine point and what? You can mine point for sure, but what do you have to do? High ground? Emote on Zen? You guys are getting some different ideas. There's no one right way to do this, I think. But I think if you're gonna mine point, you need to find a way to like move around and LOS the Zen because you're gonna get blown up. So I'd like maybe mine point. The goal should be to get the Zen off of high ground. If you can get Zen off of high ground, you're cash money. Mine point. You need to put point pressure, though. Well, congratulations, you just fed Zarya like a billion charge. So again, I know you're not getting shot at right now, but I'm actually, like, this right here I think is actually a mistake. I think this is a mistake. I would not be shooting here, especially with the Zarya bubble, of course, but like, I would not be shooting here. See how you're discorded? I would be unironically scared that I'm just going to start getting shot, so I would just be in ball form rolling around, trying to buy as much point pressure as possible, force that Zen to trance and drop, or whoever needs to stall point, and then you can resume shooting. Because obviously the mining point and leaving point doesn't do anything. You need a mine point, you need a point pressure, so that then your mines get something done. But if you start shooting, you're really, really easy to bully out. You're really, really easy to bully out. Now, for whatever reason you get discorded, I'm pretty sure, and then Zen gets like rocked and stuff, and then he gets pressured. So it's like, your timing was good, so it helped this bad decision to pay off, but this should not have been, like, it shouldn't have been like that. I need you to go for Zen. You really need to go for Zen. You really need to go for Zen. Oh, Zen dies in trance. Wow. Just survive. I wouldn't even bother doing anything right now. Yeah. Oh no, this isn't good. Yeah, prioritize Doom. Go chase Doom. Get out. Oh man. Okay. Again, we see that you need to practice some of how your grapples are being used. We need to see how you need to adjust how you're engaging, and you're still taking too much damage before the fight starts. You're not respecting damage output. Either it was with the Echo, I think fight before last, or with this particular fight, it was how you mined on point, and then you're just like, hey, I'm fine, shoot. No, you're discorded. Please be careful. Okay. We'll watch a little more.
Ready for battle.
Got it.
Attackers incoming.
Wouldn't it be better to force point first and then mine when they contest? I'll call thing for the fall. I mean, it would be okay. I think the goal is that if you mine on point, you already have your mines positioned exactly where you want them, so all you have to focus about is running away. Mine duration isn't a problem. It's long enough. What is it, like 15, 20 seconds? It's a long time. So you can mine point, force point, and then you don't need to worry about, oh no, I have to run away, but I'm going to drop my mines like off of point because I'm running away. It's perfectly in the center of point, covering the entire thing, and you can just focus on survival. 20 seconds, right? So then you don't have to worry about, oh no, as I'm running away, I'm going to mine, because you're expecting, at least I was expecting, as soon as you mined point, to be immediately focused. So at that point, you need to immediately focus on survival, not on making sure that your mines are properly placed. If that makes sense. So sure, you can mines point after you forced point, if you can be guaranteed that you're not going to be taking damage before you run away. But we didn't have that guarantee.
What attackers
Okay.
incoming? Defend objective A.
What's your responsibility in this comp? Look at this comp. I know we've been through this, but what's changed? And anybody again can answer this. We have to help this guy out. Go on Torb. I think you're okay. I think you have a bat, but a Kree, I think you're okay. I mean, you can break Torb turret. That's helpful, but yeah, maybe break Torb. I mean, looking at where it's positioned, yeah, you're probably going to be the one that breaks it. So you're going to break Torb turret, force point. They have to fall back, and then you can roll through and engage. I don't know about hard engaging on Zen now, though, because they do have some decent CC and decent damage. Like Discord Torb, and if you get even frozen a little bit, you're going to die real fast. So you have to be really, really disciplined here. Run. I do like the preemptive adaptive shields, because the logic is that, okay, it's a 12-second cooldown, yes, but it's going to take me longer than 12 seconds to heal up from the damage done to me while I'm running away. Nemo, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it, mate. So in other words, you're using the adaptive shields with the anticipation of taking a lot of damage, not just to save your life, but so you don't have to run to a million different health packs. Because right now you're already full. You're ready to go. So wait like 5 seconds and you're good to go. Break turret. Nice. Okay. I don't know. Like that seemed a little suspect. Like you took 25 damage. I think you're okay. I think especially at that point in time, like I would be anticipating my team actually pushing, and you're rolling out instantly. Like I think this is a little, yeah. You took less than like 70 damage. Your team thankfully is waiting for you, so I don't know if you must be communicating. I hope, because your team actually waited a little bit. Run quickly. Let me look at this again. You grapple roll, and you go for the mercy again. Harmony, you don't even get discorded. I think this is just a situation where you're too focused on kill, 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 not realizing that, yeah, the kill is great if you can get it, but like, honestly, like, you're lucky that you even get this slam. Like, this is a misplay in the Mercy's part that you even get this slam. So I guess, like, once the Mercy's at this HP, then yeah, I want you to hard commit on her. Like, she should have died way earlier as well. But I think my concern is that you went for this slam on the Mercy, where you can very easily get destroyed by Torb, discorded, and blown up, which is exactly what happens. You didn't get discorded, but somehow you still die. Like, I don't think this is worth. You're throwing everything, your body, into this, and it's not worth. Like, you could, okay, like, let's think about the different things that you could do here. Okay, different things that you can do. Let's not just critique, let's actually suggest. You could go for a grapple boop here, boop the Torb out, right? Keep rolling all the way in here and start shooting, you know, or I don't know, like you could grapple through to here and start shooting like this. Grapple roll through outside of Discord LOS and start shooting from an angle like this. Put pressure this way. Make the Mei and Ryan shoot you a little bit or chase you, and then roll away and re-engage. You could grapple roll boop this way, a little bit of point pressure boop Torb, and then start shooting the Zen from this way, right? Where it's just literally a 1v1. And then they have to go and pocket Zen, and then you roll away. You could grapple roll right through the middle of the enemy team, risky because of Discord, right? And boop the Rhine into the wall. And obviously you have to watch out for Mei as well. So I'm not a fan of that one. You like, listen to my voice? Thanks a lot. But there's a lot of things that you could do besides hard committing on one target in the middle of the enemy team. I just think, like, there's just so many options for you to get things done and to survive and draw out your value. Like, the thing with Ball that makes him a lot better than Winston, like the big strength of Ball over Winston, isn't just the fact that he can stage easily, it's the fact that Ball can keep providing value. Grapple, like the thing with Ball is you don't have to wait for your adaptive shields to do stuff. You can just keep doing stuff. You can grapple, roll around, smash through, slam, adaptive shield, roll away, come back, shoot, roll around. Winston, if he doesn't have bubble, his hands are tied. He can't do a lot. Like, that's it. So I think that you're treating this like, I'm going in, I'm gonna trade, hopefully this works out, and it's just not paying off. And you could be doing, yes, you could, like, you're getting the kill in the Mercy, but at what cost? It's like, here's a great example. You are trading your pawn, your knight, your rook, and like 2 pawns, a rook, and a knight just to get the enemy queen. Enemy queen, really important, but is it worth that much when you could, over the course of the fight, do significant amounts of boop, damage, value, pressure, this and that, and for long periods of time? It might be worth, but in this instance, I don't think it is. Because in my opinion, I look at that and I'm like, you could kill Mercy, you could kill Zen, but you could do it without trading your life for it.
60 seconds.
Please don't. Please. Roll away. Okay, do you see what I'm talking about there? Like, I'm not even gonna critique like how you're doing it, but do you see how much you're getting done? Do you see how like beta Torb is playing and how beta Zen is playing right now? Please shoot the Zen. Zen has a trance because he's scared of dying to you. Run. Touch. Like, look at how much you're getting. Yeah. I mean, your team got snowballed due to ultimates. You guys never even build an ultimate. But like that's a better idea of what you ought to be doing. Like, there's a boop, dual pressure, point pressure. You respond, they respond, you run away. They're distracted again. Then you go back and punish them again. You're the like almost the definition of guerrilla warfare. Okay, like for those of you who don't know how to spell it, guerrilla warfare, where you're using the environment and you're never like taking an upfront Lord of the Rings-ish like orc versus men big smash and bash. It's like hit here, disappear, hit here, disappear, just destroy the supply line. It really is guerrilla warfare. Is constantly hit and run, smash here, bash here, threaten here, boop here, do this. And you need to master the art of guerrilla warfare, which is being fast, quick, and smooth, and never ever dying. Like, you're a constant thorn in the side of the enemy team. You don't need to kill 6. Because like they engage on the Mercy, yes, you got the kill, but it was literally you and your Genji had to put everything you had into it. When you could have just done significantly more over the course of the fight, and in that devolved fight, a kill on the Mercy would have presented itself. Yeah, exactly. So for you, the biggest thing I think I have for you is really your how you're engaging is, I think, the biggest thing. I think there needs to be more thought. Like, you're not necessarily feeding off of cooldown, but how you're engaging is often getting very little done. It's getting very little done. You're not very annoying, you're not very threatening, and then you're dying way too often. So how you're engaging needs more thought. And then in terms of like the micro, I think we can talk a little bit about how you need to practice your grapples a little more. Ball is literally fat being with more shooting. Yeah, no way. Yeah, like very much rollout oriented. In terms of like knowing, not just like the rollouts like involved where you go all the way around the map. Ha ha ha! I can do that. It's about like the whole mindset of like. I know how, because I know the map so well, I can cleanly and quickly engage in ways that you won't even expect, right? So changing how you engage, thinking about how you should engage, and then the micro with the grapples. Don't be predictable. Okay. Do you have any questions, Linux? Do you want to do your Q&A now, or do you want to do it some other time? We can do it over text. We can do it over voice. It's up to you. Because this is a tier 2 review. We're gonna get Alex's VOD up here. Oh, well, I appreciate it, man. If you have any questions, just shoot me a question over text. Because I think like sometimes the best way to do the Q&A I'm learning is to just shut up, do the review, go practice for like a week, and then I have players that I reviewed like a week ago messaging me a question or two that they ran into. That might be the best way to do it. So, even if you don't want to take advantage of it because you're being a nice guy, like, you can still take advantage of it in a week if you have any questions. But I really appreciate it. Red Blaze, thank you for that single bit. Okay, chat, give me 1 second because I'm going to feed my cat. You guys want to hear some meowing? Watch this. Watch this. Actually, can I get the camera? So, this is my staircase right here. Can you guys see this? Yeah, right here. Red Blaze, thank you for the fall. Watch this. You guys ready? Mario, you want to eat? Doom, I hear. Eat, Amari, eat! Eat! And here she is. Hey! There she is. Okay, you didn't even see it. She was underneath the stairs. Alright, let's see. Let's see. Man, it was like a thunder upstairs. She just jumped off whatever she was resting on. Alright, come here. One of these days, guys, I'll have to show you. Cat's pretty smart. She knows how to. She knows her name. She knows. She knows her name. She knows eat. Eat. She knows sit, and she knows jump. And one we're working on, you're gonna laugh. It was accidental. We joked about it, but she actually figured it out. So I don't smoke, just to be clear. But she loves catnip, right? So we were joking like the other day, like, oh, this is several months ago. She's like, oh, we should get the cat some weed. And I guess we had joked about it a couple times before because we said weed and not even like eat, but like weed. And she ran over. She was ready for the catnip. So now weed is catnip. So Mari, weed? She goes, oh yeah, catnip time. So yeah. And so cats are stupid, get a dog. Man, I don't like dogs, dude. I never liked dogs. I grew up with a couple of like family dogs, like greyhounds and stuff, and they were really well behaved, and I liked them. And we had some well behaved dachshunds as well, and I liked them. But dogs just smell. Here's the problem with cats. Most people that get cats get like 4 cats, and they just sit and eat and poop. That's it. They just like sit and they're lazy. And so a lot of them are grouchy. And I have one cat. I've always had only one cat. I don't know if you guys remember Musashi from way back in the day. For those of you who were like the OG stream watchers, but I've always only had one cat, well trained, and is like very, very attached, and it's a lot more memorable, or not more memorable, excuse me, a lot more enjoyable. But yeah, I would not get cats. I like having a single cat. It's a lot more entertaining because they do everything with you. They hang out with you. They sleep with you. They're very exciting, and yeah. But if you get a bunch of cats, it's they kind of do their own thing. Yeah. See, that's why you only get like one cat then. You get them as a kitten, and then you just raise them, and they get really attached to you, and then they play with you, and they're like, she's super hyper, and she's great. She's a lot of fun. Cats make you sneeze? Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, let remembers. Okay. Cats are good stuff. Cats are smart, they just generally don't care. Yeah. Cats are generally like a lot more personal space kind of a thing. But again, it just depends on how you train it. Okay, so here's the thing. We're going to go BH trial. This is about a week and a half old, I think, something like that. I haven't had time to review it because I have to, like, obviously, I'm trying to get everybody done at the same time. So, this is BH trials. Kron, Alex, Danye, Psycho, Lucer, Dala, Helv, KSA, Fuki, Kisar plays. So this is pretty stacked. This is a pretty stacked lobby in terms of the players in this lobby. Some of the better players, best players in EU. This is forced comp, I believe. Like, we'll see if they change. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same. Yeah, it's going to be the same all the way through. So, what we're reviewing is we are reviewing Alex. He asked me to go over Zarya, so we're going to look over his Zarya in the matchup. And before we even get started, we'll talk a little bit about composition. So, they also good? Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. You are playing Brawl. The way Brawl is, the way Brawl mirrors always break down. Now, obviously this is a trial, so like decisiveness and leadership and just like hard inting might work just fine. But the way Brawl is played, even if you're playing with Reaper Mei, is angles. The way any composition in a mirror is played is always angles. Even non-mirrors is angles, but sometimes some comps have to just not play for angles because they have less damage, right? So it's always angles, always spam. Now, you as Zarya have a very interesting relationship with these angles because you're a tank that is playing with a Rhine, generally who doesn't like take angles, he just kind of plays main. But you're a tank that benefits immensely from angles yourself. Even if it's like angles for right-clicking behind shield, if it's angles for controlling high ground and making them clear you, if it's angles for putting pressure on backline or putting pressure on Rhine so he can't really charge a shield. Like, if you're angle pressuring here while your Rhine is pushing here, there's nowhere for that Rhine to hide. So there's a lot of different things. But the thing with the angles, the Zarya, is your primary bubble target is obviously going to be Reinhardt because he's going to get you the most charge, he's going to get the most value out of swinging, and he's going to need it a lot of time for peel because he's going to be the primary target. So you want to try and get angles, but you want to try and get angles where you have LOS on your Rhine so that you can bubble properly. Because if the bubble isn't there, then your Rhine can't take space, he's going to get frozen. And that's the other thing too, is it's like the bubble isn't just there for your Rhine to swing because, Reaper damage, Zarya damage, Rhine swings. It's because of Mei. If he gets freeze ticks on him, he's in serious trouble. So the bubble timing needs to be perfect. I would like to see you taking soft angles. I don't really know what your communicational structure is. I've always found the most value from bubble timing This is way back even with goats, with the Zarya that says, I have bubble, giving bubble updates, like I bubble in 5, bubble in 3, you know, not like bubble in 2, bubble in 1, like a couple, 1 or 2, okay, bubble soon, okay, bubble, like, and that's it. And then the Rhine calls to the bubble, right? Or you see the Rhine and you can bubble, but it's up to you. So, like the optimal way to play Zarya is not just to stack behind your Rhine, because remember the way cover works is they see threats and they hide behind corners. The way you beat dealing with threats, in other words, the way you beat enemy defense or defending against threats is by denying them that cover by shooting from this angle. And looking at your composition, like BAP is very much tied to his Rhine. Mei can angle. Reaper can definitely angle as well, but you're really the highest range damage threat on your team. At least you're the most consistent. Mei is also okay, but she's probably more focused on walls. She might be positioned in a weird spot to get walls. You are the angle threat. And if you can get more pressure on the enemy team through your right clicks, that's going to be big stuff. So we'll see how we do. You're going to be surprised at what happens first fight. How good is Bubbling Reaper? Bubbling Reaper is excellent if it's for a set play. So you can, you know, bubble your Reaper on a TP. For example, let's say that you have Grav and you want to force their lamp. You can bubble your Reaper in the TP play and backline. And if you bubble your Reaper right when Lucio goes for boop, I don't think the boop works. Chat, can anybody fact check me on that one? Does boop work on bubble? And then you basically force the lamp because you're going to solo force lamp. A bubble Reaper is going to force lamp. It's just not, you can't not. It doesn't, you can't boop. Okay, so you bubble the Reaper, he goes hard in the BAP. If he doesn't have his exo boots charged, there's a free lamp. Reaper is really good against BAP. Reaper is very good against BAP because BAP struggles with the multi-directional threat. He's squishy. Okay, so let's see how we do. I'm looking for good bubble timing. If there's bad bubble timing, I'm going to blame you, even if it's Kron's fault, because it's your job to make sure that no matter how Kron likes it, that you do it perfectly how he likes it. I'm going to be looking at your positioning. So your bubble timing, positioning, and then obviously Grav just needs to be a free fight win. And if it's not, I blame you as well. Okay, let's see. Good bubble timing. There's the wall. He's going to get full swings on this. The bubble is also crucial as well, as we just learned, or confirmed rather, is that if Gustav goes for a defensive boop here, it's not going to work, right? He's not. You see, he's not even going for it. This means that your Rhine is getting free swings because he's bubbled, right? So let's see what we got here. Okay, chat. Really quick, before we get started, I want you guys in chat to tell me the answer to a question. Now, I already know the answer to this, and there might be some coaches out there that disagree with me, but let me assure you that those coaches that disagree with me are wrong, okay? I'm going to ego for a little bit, okay? Is it better to bubble first or bubble second? This is a tryout, so yes, it's a scrum. Is it better to bubble first or bubble second? And remember, I don't care what any other coaches say. The way I say it is the correct way. Uh-oh. I'm gonna give you guys like 5 more seconds, and then I'm gonna give you the big brain. All right. Okay. The answer is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In fact, your job should be to bubble as quickly as you can get full value out of it. And when I mean value, I mean 40 charge and as much space as you can. You should bubble as early as you can get full value. In other words, you would not wait to bubble here. You've got a great opportunity to swing big on the Rhine, so bubble now. And the reason why that's crucial is because so many coaches out there say bubble second. And by the way, if you guys say bubble second, it's a very, very, very common misconception. It doesn't matter. The goal should be to get as much value out of the cooldown as quickly as you can. And when you do that, you're higher charge faster, and you get the cooldown back faster as well. You shouldn't be waiting to bubble second. There was a lot of guides out there by some coaches that we won't talk about that said, like, bubble second, try and greed or edge your bubble. No, just use it to get value. It's like any other cooldown. Right click on echo. Sticky say echo, you know, sleep dart, nade, trance. It doesn't matter. Use it to get full value. And then there you go. So in this situation here, I don't want you bubbling second. If your Ryan can get full value out of the swings and you can get full charge, why would you wait? The advantages that people are bubbling are supposed to get you is the mindset that of, oh, hey, they bubbled now. Now they have no bubble, so now we can punish them with our bubble. But the problem with that logic is, what do you think they were doing with their bubble? Do you think that they were just standing still with their bubble and looking pretty? No, they were hurting you. So while you're sitting there holding on to your bubbles, you're losing space, you're taking damage, you're getting hit in the mouth. So when it's your turn to bubble, it's not like you have this amazing advantage that you can push. Yes, you have a bubble advantage, but you're also down 300 HP. Right? And you're down space. And there's Zarya's charge more than you. So as you're pushing, you're taking more damage. So the concept that you should be bubbling second is false. It is false. There's obviously situations where you might want to bubble second. Maybe you're like, you know, you're waiting to purge, you know, Discord or something like that. But like most of the time, bubbling, there's no point bubbling second. What if your bubble gets burst instantly? Okay, great. Because if your bubble gets burst instantly, you would rather your bubble get burst instantly than your Ryan to take 250 damage instantly. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would you rather have? Your bubble burst instantly or your Ryan to instantly get chunked to half HP? Because it's one or the other. I'm exaggerating Baggins because remember, bubble drops off of damage threshold. So you could have 1 HP left on your bubble, take a Mei right click, and it still blocks the entire Mei right click. It's 200 HP, but it often blocks more than 200 HP because remember, you can have 1 HP left in your bubble and it will block a Diva Bomb. So any damage that happens after that 200 HP threshold is absorbed no matter what. Yeah, but it is technically 200 HP, but it's almost always more or less than 200 HP in terms of how much damage it blocks. So point being, screw the logic that says bubble second. Bubble as quickly as you can to get full. But the balance is you always have to get full value. If you bubble here at choke and your Ryan only gets like 1 swing and you get like 15 energy, then yes, the enemy team will push with a bubble advantage. They will be better because they bubbled second, but not because they only bubbled second, but because their bubble just got more value than yours. Right? It's like, remember how I always say, chat, like, you don't want to like nade at its choke here. You want to like let them come through and then nade if you're playing on them because your team can get more value out of it. But you don't want to hold on to your nade. It's like, use your cooldown as soon as you can get full value out of it. If you're kill boxing here, use bubble here. There's your answer. All right, so angle. Bubble's great. And like, because the thing is yes, if KSA survives this, like, look at this. If KSA survives this, he's going to have both bubbles, right? And that's going to be bad news for you guys because he's going to be able to bubble and they're going to be able to push. Okay, he already used bubbles. But, like, let's just say he had bubbles. But it wouldn't matter because they're already so low that as soon as their bubbles are, like, they wouldn't be able to aggress as much with bubbles as they would like to. All right, what happens here? So Alex says something weird happens here. So you just get shot. You just get shot and killed. I mean, let's look at your position here, right? Timing was good. Your bubbles were good. Somehow you don't get a lot of charge out of your bubble. You get some charge, but you actually walk into this here. Certainly too close. So yeah, you're just too close. Okay, so this is gonna take some adjusting. Okay, so I'm gonna pause right here because you are playing into Reaper Mei. You can't do this. You just can't because it's one shot, your bubble's down, and then you're dead. This is a really, really bad positional error from you. You should not be here. Like, because yes, I understand. Okay, I want to like break lamp, but you can do this from here, and I don't even think you should be sacrificing yourself to break lamp. You've already forced lamp. Good job. Take the energy, take the shield advantage, get a kill maybe, and then just you're fine. This is poor. This is just poor positioning. This is just you feeding. There's just no way of saying this nicely. It's Reaper May. You can't afford, I mean, there's a reason why Zarya is generally not meta with Reaper May comps. Is because she just dies instantly. So if you're forced to play Zarya, you have to play more of, I'm going to build up charge, I'm going to murder on the angles, and I'm not going to get two-shot by Reaper. So the bubbles are fine, but you're forced to personal bubble just to keep yourself alive, and then you die. So yeah, you just fed. I mean, there's no nice way of saying this. I think you fed because you're not used to playing into Reaper May with Zarya, but there's no way of sugarcoating this. By the way, if they don't shoot your bubbles, it's okay. Obviously, you want to be timing your bubbles to where they're basically tempted or forced to shoot your bubbles. Like another way you can, by the way, you can also time it so that you can bubble your Rhine not when he starts to swing, but right as in the middle of the swing. So like right now, you could like let Rhine swing for like once or twice, so they start to freeze him and then bubble him, and so he can keep going. And they kind of like they're baited to shoot him. But overall, the projected bubble is fine. This positioning here is okay. I just don't want you walking this close. Like the difference between here and here is massive. It's massive. Now Lucer's obviously leaning towards one side, and that's you know a big problem. But like you shouldn't die here. Like he should have to go through Psycho to get you, but you're in front of Psycho. So you know this is only really one error you make here, but it's such an egregious error, it's over. And there's no reason that you guys should lose this fight. That's really not, that's not good. All right, we're gonna change options, change it to 10. I wish you could save it as default, because this saves as default, at least it looks like it, but yeah. Maybe it's just like when you restart Overwatch. How do you feel about the Moira with the BAP in a comp like this? It's okay. But the problem, okay, here's the problem with Moira, okay? The reason why Moira will always feel good at the start and then feel bad as time goes on is, remember what I said about angles and map control, and like how even in hard brawl comps, like generally fights get a little slower and a little slower and a little slower, and map control becomes more and more important. As fights get slower and map control becomes more important, one-dimensional heroes like Moira become less attractive, and multi-dimensional high utility heroes like BAP become more attractive. So heroes like Moira would be initially played in a meta like this, but as teams got better at like map control and angles, heroes like BAP and Ana would be played more. That's why, by the way, if you guys want a big brain on your friends, that's why Zenyatta almost always ends up taking over these metas. Because Discord and Harmony is way better than Sleep and Nade. Sleep and Nade is way better than, you know, arguably Lamp and Shift. Like I'm way over exaggerating, but I'm just gonna say, and Lamp and Shift and the damage that BAP does is way better than Orb and right click. Because if I have a Tracer that's getting a Moira pocket versus a Tracer that's getting a Zenyatta pocket, who's winning that? Or an Ana pocket versus a Zen pocket? Like Discord is just too strong on angle control. But the problem is obviously you do very little healing, so you need your main core to be very disciplined, whereas your flanks are very smart. Right, and the reason that Moira and Ana and Zen Goats is in that order is because Zen Goats could afford to punish Zaryas and Divas that took off angles and enabled your Zaryas and Divas to take angles for free. Because if your Zarya's on an angle versus Ana Goats or Moira Goats, the only answer they have for it is to try and chase it down and run it over, which is hard. Whereas if you have a Zen Goats, you can discord the Diva or discord the Zarya and make them go back to their team. You see what I'm saying? Discord bullies people off of flanks and angles better than Ana or Moira can ever do. If we're on main here and there's Diva versus Diva on high ground, it doesn't matter if your Ana's pumping healing into your Diva. If I have her discorded, she's going to die, and my Diva's going to win. Because Harmony Orb will do some healing, Discord will do more, then you can heal. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Okay, anyway. But it applies in this topic because you're playing with the BAP, so you're already leaning towards a slower playstyle here. You can play tempo. Brawl always has the option to play fast, but it's almost always the exception to the rule, and it's very ult specific. It depends on the plan. You guys should not be here. I'm really scared for you guys. I would be very hesitant. Yeah, this is better. You guys should not be so far forward though. Also as well, I want you to be like you've used a couple bubbles. Hang on, I just got a message, y'all. Just give me a second. It looks like you're fishing for energy, but I think you could probably do it more efficiently if you were better at communicating it. Okay. So for example, like, let's look at this situation right here. You could ask for charge right here. And do you see how your Mei runs away from the choke instead of taking the fire strike? If you had told her ahead of, like, I want charge, then she's going to take fire strike. Or she's going to take Lucio spam. Right? Same thing with this next projected. Right? Right here. Was this communicated?
Objective lost.
Maybe. But I don't know that. And assuming what I saw with the Mei, I'm already concerned that it's not communicated. So maybe that one was, but the other one wasn't. It's still 50-50. It's still an F, right? You get 100% or you get a 0% or 50%. That's either two of those are bad, one of those is good. Okay. And because you didn't get anything out of the Mei, you really should be like 60 charge now. Chat, what do you think about this positioning? What do you think about Alex's positioning on main like this? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Is this good or bad? And if so, why? I'm going to let this sit for a little bit because we're not going to pause a ton, but as much as we have been, but like we have to establish some things so that we can go faster with the rest of the VOD. What do you guys think? Because remember, the goal is to off angle slightly, right? You can't get completely isolated, but you need to off angle slightly. He could get walled off from his core, right? But here's the problem. Is there anywhere that he can position where walling him off is not a threat? And the answer is no. There's nowhere that he can position where he cannot be walled off. Now, obviously, if there is a position, like if you could go high ground, then you want to go there, but you can't do that here. So your goal needs to be play a little bit of distance. We saw how that went the first fight. Play a little bit of distance, play where you can LOS your Rhine, play where you have a slight off angle, which it is a slight off angle considering where your Rhine's positioned, and just spam. So I think, and given this choke, it's probably the best off angle that you can play. Because chat, why am I not a fan of this off angle? What's the problem with this off angle? Because this off angle is deeper. In other words, it's like less this and more. So there's more of a risk if they push your Rhine. It's scarier for them. Right, but it's easy to collapse on. It's very easy for them to wall off their Rhine and rush you. So you have to find a balance. It's just like normal off angles. A balance between going too greedy and being too passive. Because if you stack with your Rhine, yeah, you're technically probably a little safer. Not on top of your Rhine, but like the same angle as your Rhine. But you're not doing anything. So you have to kind of find the balance, right? You got to find the balance. And right now, I think your positioning is good. I would just wish that you were higher charge. And because now you've reached a point to where like you can, and again, you don't get anything out of your personal. That's rough. That's rough. I mean, there's not a lot you could do there, but that's tough. Like, this is why it's so important to use your projected bubbles between fights to get charge. Whatever you have to do communicationally, it needs to be done. Okay, so you got a Reaper flank on you. You're a little bit low charge. How is KSA doing? He's not doing great either, so that's at least okay. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so Fuki goes way too early, which is great for you guys. If you look at like when Fuki goes in, he's like a good full second too early, if not more. And he even clomps around and gives away his positioning. I don't know. I think he was trying to one-shot Danye. Yeah, he gives away his positioning, so his shift is forced instantly. And you guys gotta, and obviously, I don't think they're ready for you guys to have Blizzard, which is huge because Blizzard is a master. Like, it's a monstrous counter to BAP window. Okay, so like let's check our bubble. Good bubble. Okay, chat. Who should our Zarya be prioritizing right now? Who should be our target priority right now? What do you guys think? So the bubble's good, but right now, who should your Zarya be prioritizing right now? Okay, so this one's tricky. This one is where you have to use your judgment. You guys are saying the people on the ground, and I think there's definitely an argument for that. But given the situation that you guys have May-ulted and shattered, I think you're probably okay. I actually like you focusing Zarya here. I think there's options here. I don't think there's a bad option, but I think Zarya is more important for you to focus right now. Chat, why? Okay, you guys remember my Zen VOD reviews? Why do you prioritize Ball, Tracer, and Echo on the flank before you go for Sigma Zen? What kills people? Not individuals, but angles. Angles kill people. This Zarya, if uncontested, could kill your entire backline. Frontline, obviously, you know, it's hard because you're like, oh, I could kill these people too. But this is what matters. If you win this, you're going to kill her, and then you're going to kill the Mei, and then you're going to be able to help your team. Your team will be under. If you can kill the Zarya, your team is going to take no damage. There is no damage that your team is worried about because it's all in front of them except for the Zarya and Mei. So Alex, 2v1. 2v1. And call for help if you need it. And you don't need, and the thing is you don't even need to get the kill necessarily. Like, you can get it now, but all you've done is you've gate capped this Zarya from doing anything. Like, KSA wants to go, man. Like, he wants to go, but he can't. Look at that. Charge disadvantage, and you win the 1v1, poggers. But not only that, but you did your homework. You didn't tunnel main, you cleared the angle. You defended the back door. Easy peasy. Nice job. So, in terms of building charge, not great. Your positioning first fight, you fed. Hopefully you get some charge here. Ah, man. But your positioning there and your target selection, bubble usage, etc. is very good there. Nice. Early bubble. Early bubble. Chat, why do I say early bubble? Because obviously the bubble's getting charge. Obviously the bubble's getting energy. It's not a bad bubble. Soldoc, thank you for the follow. But why is this a slightly early bubble? What's not a threat right now? What's not a threat? Can you guys tell me what's not a threat right now? No cooldowns? No. There's definitely a threat of cooldowns, but what cooldown are we looking for? What are we looking for right now? What two things? Mei, Bopzo, thank you for the follow. You want to be bubbling when Mei is shooting on your Rhine, but there's no Mei here. But what else? We said it earlier. What else are we looking for to bubble? Why do you bubble in melee range? Because what's a threat for your Rhine? Not just Mei freeze, but what? Other Rhine? Reaper, yeah, Reaper shots, but there's something else I'm looking for. Even more, because obviously Reaper damage is gonna, like, it's getting a bubble to where, like, maybe it'll absorb a Reaper shot would be great, but there's something else. Boop, boop, yes, boop. Boop is what you're concerned about. Because what they can do is they can kite your bubbles. And that means, and because they can boop you right now, if they boop now, your Rhine doesn't get as much space as he should. So it's not a bad bubble, but it could be better. You can get it, you can get booped or frozen here. Mei's not here, so Mei's not a concern, but you could get booped. This is, like, you would want to bubble probably at the max distance of Mei's freeze and boop, which would mean where I would want you to bubble now. This is where you start to bubble. And this gives Kron that extra swing where he's shielding now. I think Kron also should not be shielding. I think Kron is shielding because he's expecting Mei freeze, but there's no Mei freeze here. Okay. Looking at your positioning here, please be very careful. You do have personal, but I need you to be careful. Chat, who should Zarya be shooting right now? Who should the enemy team, or who should our team be shooting right now? Zarya, yep. Because number one, she's isolated, but number two, she's on the angle. Because remember, the angles aren't just what kill you; they're also the easiest to kill. It's the high risk, high reward. So Zarya's a free kill here. Okay, this is going to be a defensive male. I hope you're saving your bubbles. It looks like you are. Okay, good. Good anticipation, good positioning. Grav is solid. Okay, you have access to backline, so now free ultimate, go in. Back, you need to back. You need to back. You have charge. You need to back. Maybe you could get out. Your team probably said you couldn't get out. Okay, I want to look at this fight again. Because I think this fight you played relatively well, but I bet there's something that we can get out of it. So the initial bubble, too early, you didn't get enough space out of it. I think if you had bubbled a little later, you probably would have actually forced Lamp, because I think Kron would have gotten another swing or two on the BAP. So if nothing else, there's that. Okay. You know, this isn't great. The placement of the grab is good, but it's not great that your Reaper is wraithing out. And that's not great. You do avoid the mailed. That's great. The right clicks are obviously fine. You greed. Oh no, you bubble May. That sucks. You see the problem here, chat, right, chat? Now, part of it is because his positioning. So, like, there's not a lot he could have done here. Like, maybe he could have pushed up here and maybe gotten the kill. Oh, yeah, he could have. You did not need to bubble. You could have saved your projected here. You could have bubble on Kron right now. Ooh. Actually, that does matter. Because, chat, he projected bubbled. You bubbled May on purpose? Why? To save? Shift? Or what? Krong? Yeah. He did? Okay. Well, let's see. How did Psycho get frozen? Come on, man. Hey, kitty. Oh, Psycho! Okay. You pass. Come on, man. Come on, man. Okay, so grab. I'm not sure what the communication was like, but the grab could have been better. Your Reaper was like shifting out, so you missed out some potential damage there. The initial bubble was not good. Your positioning was good. Your priority here is good. Force personal bubble. I think this priority is obviously great. Got it. Did you miss the right click? Don't think it matters that much. And then you doubling back to kill Reaper here is obviously, again, priority. Like you can see again here, like Reaper's going to be the one that's doing stuff done, so. But yeah, it's probably smart that you didn't run away because Gustav is still alive, so they're not going to be, they're going to be able to chase you down. No excuses. May players suck. 70% of your crap. Okay, so initial projected bubble, too soon. If they're kiting Kron, then you just hold your bubble until they hold the ground. Because if they keep kiting, they just run away and they die in their spawn. But it's when Kron makes the when the lips meet, right? When the mouths smack, that's when you start to bubble. So the initial projected bubble is not good. And the grab could have been slightly better. But honestly, that fight was mostly good from you. Mostly clean. I don't have a lot of complaints about how that fight went. Again here, like I feel maybe there's again like I'm gonna nitpick this, but maybe it was a communicational uncertainty of like when you guys are actually taking the fight here. But I mean, this is last fight, right? For this point, so right now you need to be asking for charge, right? Why are you not asking for charge? You're committing a personal bubble. Like, why not ask Kron for charge? There's a fire strike. Get charge. You need to be getting charge. This is now the second fight in a row. Less so the previous fight, but two fights so far in this defense where you have not built charge properly before the fight started, because you're not concerned about projected bubble being used here, because you guys are not stopping the cart until it gets here anyway. You've got 10 seconds at least. Would bubbling Reaper after the grab be good? Yeah, but I don't think he had bubble. I don't think he had bubble. Okay, maybe he did have bubble, but at that point he was saving bubble for Blizzard. I think it's more important to bubble for Blizzard than it would be to bubble your Reaper ult there. But it depends on the situation. Like the reason why I say save bubble for Blizzard is because you guys had other ultimates coming up. If your only win condition was obviously the Reaper ult, then yeah, sure. But like Blizzard was coming up. So, to be clear, like, questions about, like, what rank is this? Yeah, this is like, Alex is probably the best off tank in EU, now that Molfik's in L. Okay, so, but yeah, like, you should be higher charge in this. There's zero reason. I'm alright. Stop chewing the block away. No. There's no reason for you not to be 60 charge here. But Alex, they can't rush you. They can't. Look at the positioning of the cart. Like, they can't. Like, you could have, and the thing is like, you could have done this before this. Look at this. Like, you could have already projected right here. Like, look at the position of the cart. And look at where you're positioned. They can't rush you in here, man. They just can't. They would unironically have to grab and May to be able to get the kills. And even then, they'd probably trade. Even then, they'd probably trade. And you know they don't have either. Well, you certainly know they don't have grab. I'm alright. No, she's literally chewing. What are you doing? No. So, I understand what you're saying, but I truly believe that you're reading the fight wrong. Yeah, if you did it early, I mean, honestly, you could have even done it. Like, you could still be doing it right now. Hey, Zon. Thanks for the raid, man. Appreciate it, brother. How you doing? Zon's one of my old Lord of the Rings online buddies. He's been a sub for a while. Good guy. Great dad. He's helped me out a lot with some stream stuff actually not too long ago, so good to see you, mate. But yeah, you would have your whole bubble cycle back. Is KSA best off tank in EU? I would have said KSA, but I'm a little biased because here's the thing. KSA is a great mechanically, very good player, probably better than Alex and a couple of heroes. But I've worked with Alex, and with KSA, I'm sure he's a good player, but I don't know how good of a grinder and how smart KSA is. And I know Alex is a really good grinder and really smart and a great communicator. I've had nothing but good things to say about Alex. So KSA might be better than Alex, but I know Alex is really good. You know what I'm saying? And to have as good of an attitude and to be as smart as Alex, KSA would have to be pretty remarkable. So I find it unlikely that KSA is better than Alex. Okay, anyway, you need to be charged. There's no excuse here. Chat, what do you guys think about positioning here? What do you see about this positioning, chat? I'm gonna ignore the window. Ignore the window. Let's just pretend this is a neutral fight. No ultimates used. What's important about Alex's positioning right now? Now he doesn't really have time to go high ground, and high ground's a little bit risky because you can get booped at least here. But what do you guys see about this positioning here? Where is Kron playing? That's always the question you should ask. It's like, where is the center of the fight happening? Is offing, right? What happens if the enemy? Okay, you guys ready? How many times have you guys played Brawl or played in a comp and they're like, just kill Ryan, push Ryan, run? You guys ever had that, right? Okay. What is Kron gonna do if they pressure Ryan? If they pressure him, where is he gonna go? He's gonna tuck in here. You see this? This is his corner that he's playing. What happens? What is Alex going to do when they push Kron in here, based off his positioning? What's he gonna do? He's gonna right click. He's gonna murder the backline. Madigan. Thank you for the follow. He's gonna murder them. And what happens if they push Alex? Well, not only is he further away than he was on first fight, so he's not feeding like he was on first fight, but the Kron's just gonna swing on 6. Like that's the you darned if you do, darned if you don't. That's what you want, and that's what Alex is doing in this position right now. It's just a shame that he's not higher charge. Chat, good way to hold in your bubble here, right? You would have bubbled this, like last fight you bubbled this, essentially, as you're engaging. This fight you're not. Right? This fight you're not. It wasn't quite that bad last fight, but you're not. There's nothing in melee range, so nothing to bubble. The only problem is because you're having to hold onto your bubble so long because, you know, the enemy team is just like kiting off, it's once again, you're being punished for being low charge. Because them kiting off, if you're high charge, is fine. You can just farm more grav, put more pressure, etc., etc., but you're starting to get pretty low. You're starting to get pretty low. KSA is as well, that's good. But you're starting to get pretty low. You got Lamp. It's a fine trade. You guys should win this fight. Chat. What's the scary part about this push, right? I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna go ahead and answer this. It's the fact that at any time they could push this off angle, and you don't have scouting. So what I would like you guys to do is to push these guys a little bit, but probably have your Lucio scouting here. Probably have your Lucio like keep an eye on these guys because it's scary. Okay, got a little charge. That's good. I don't blame. So see now I don't really blame you for holding your projected bubble because it's not clear where and when the enemy team is going to engage. So this is the type of uncertainty that I could understand. The previous fight you get, or at least 30 seconds ago, you don't get a pass. Now I understand. And now you have grab again. Okay, bubble. I probably grab this. Grab it. Nice. Little too late though. But you might still win. Good bubble and looser. Okay. I mean, this is why Zarya is so important in these fights, because even though Alex misplayed that a little bit, I think I would have grabbed a little earlier, as almost as a peeling mechanism. High charge Zarya is the carry. High charge Zarya does more than anything else in this composition. It's scarier than any other hero mid-fight. So the projected bubble, obviously fine. I bought your Ryan a lot of time. Kron is going to die either way, though. This is where I want you to grab, because I see this. I see not only a clump, but I see an enemy team that wants to aggress. If you grab this here, KSA and Kelv do not kill Danye, and they do not kill Psycho. And you get these kills. Now, ironically, maybe it led to helping you get those kills because, you know, it pulled the Rhine shield away and you were able to right-click backline. But I don't think the trade was worth. I would rather take, okay, we didn't get a bunch of kills in the grav, but we kept 2 of my members of my team alive, and they're low anyway. Because you have to remember, their BAP is dead. So any damage that you do here is permanent. So the longer this fight goes, you're fine with it. You lost your Rhine, but they lost their BAP. You will take that trade any day. Especially in these default fights. So your grab is late. Your grab is very late. And you're still not charged. So it's like everything that you're doing, like, you would have been at least 10 charge or 15 charge higher. Honestly, actually, no, you would have been higher than that. You would have been 10, 15 charge, maybe even 20 charge higher than you were this entire fight if you had simply farm charge up earlier. So that was a really clean fight, except for the late grab and not building charge early. So what we'll do is we'll keep nitpicking the individual things. We get to the end of the defense, we'll stop, we'll bring it all together, we'll talk about like what problems we're really looking for, and then we'll hold it to the test on what we see in attack. In other words, okay, these are the big issues we see. Is that going to hold true in attack? And if so, then we know exactly what you need to work on. And yeah, okay. Chat, this is kind of where the positioning becomes really important. I think Alex is playing a little bit more defensive here because it's harder for the Lucio to boop him if he's here. And there's also the risk that you could get solo grabbed right here and just die. I think it would be hard for them to kill you. I think he's probably more concerned about the boop though. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Okay, and do you see what we reset to? They used window, they bought space. In other words, they use an ultimate to clear you out of the angle. That's okay. Unlucky, sucks. Go to the next angle and do the same thing all over again. So now you just backed up and do it all over again, except now they don't have an ultimate, right? The only problem is that obviously Dala gets sniped, which should never happen to a Lucio. Okay, I'm expecting bubble here instantly because you have a Mei and a Reaper on you. That's a huge beat. That's it, yeah. I'm actually looking at this fight. I'm not going to critique you for this, Alex, but this is something that you guys could have gone for. You guys needed to get a Reaper kill. You guys needed to go, like, you and Danye should have been up here, and you guys should have hard-inted Exarath with a Mei wall. Like, you have to track that they have Grab, Reaper, BAP window, Lucio, and you guys don't have anything. You guys have Shatter, window, and you don't even have that yet. I would have gone for a YOLO play here. So chat, this is something that you can learn for your own ranked games or any scrims that you guys do of any level. If you have no ultimates and the enemy team has a lot of ultimates, you can either take a dry fight and play really aggressively to force a lot of ultimates, or you can try and maybe even clutch the fight by doing something really stupid. Like right now, jump in with a Bubble Reaper and try and one-shot that BAP. And if you one-shot the BAP, they might use a bunch of ultimates and still lose. You see what I'm saying? Why does Psycho not combo with Grav? I mean, I don't know. You don't always have to. It just depends. So yeah, I don't like how you guys really took this fight. It's like you were baiting an ultimate. You know, maybe you're baiting an ultimate, but I honestly don't even think that this fight is winnable. Like even with Dala alive, I don't think this fight's winnable. I think they could just play slow for Grav and then just grab on top of you, and then what are you gonna do? Like they're gonna grab on top of you, and they're gonna Death Blossom, and they're gonna bubble the Reaper, and you're gonna lose. And they might not even have to, like they didn't even have to really use speed here. So I don't know. I would have preferred a clutch play. Okay. That is very loud. Sorry, chat. Go hero player, go home. Yeah. Yeah, you got him with the fire strike through the window. Yep. Chat, why is Alex going this way? Why is what's happening right now so important? This is the angle. If your Zarya and your BAP can control this angle, and your Mei to an extent as well, then you're good. So what you do is you clear this out with your Rhine. Your Rhine doesn't stay here. Kron's probably going to clear this out and then drop to this corner. And then they're in trouble. Because now, if they push Kron, they're open to the angle. If they try and clear the angle, then they're going to be out in the open and Kron can push them. So you have to set up your second angle again. Your next angle. Alex will probably stay in this high ground. Rock think with fall. That being said, you need to get rid of that Reaper. And you need to get charged. You did a weird doubling back that seemed a little strange. So like it's almost as if you thought that you wanted to go back to the other direction, but then kind of realized that you shouldn't. I would probably also try and get charged in here. Well, no, they have grab, maybe not. Okay, but yeah, this is strange. This is strange. Maybe Dala's like calling that he's 1 HP, but Dala needs to stop feeding. Come on, Dala. You're better than this. What's going on here, Dala? How did he die? Oh, he gets swung in by the Rhine. Slim Shany? I don't know. That's really, really unfortunate. Yeah, Bubble's okay, I guess there. Bubble on your Mei because she was in deep. I don't think she had ice block, or she did have ice block, but she was in deep. So like whatever. Like I don't think we're gonna like overanalyze it. You had a melee character that was in the enemy team's butt cheeks, and you just smashed on him. So that's a lot of space that you're gonna get with that bubble. A lot of charge. Okay, good angle. This should lead to a kill. Huge, monstrous. And there's your angle right there. There's the power of the angle. Easy bubble. Off angle, people are shooting you, not shooting your team, and you're still killing them. So that's good. Okay, now this is where I'm gonna see once again how our mid-fight charge or between fight charge efficiency is. Milhong winking for fall, because obviously at the higher ranks, teams are a lot more disciplined with feeding charge. So I don't expect you to be 80 charge before the fight starts. It's just unrealistic. But I expect you to at least try. And what seems to be happening is it doesn't seem like you're communicating it properly. Yeah, that was a huge shatter. Yeah, this is the deeper part of the trial, I assume. So there's some right clicks, and nothing happens. I mean, I would go as far as like asking your Mei as they're padding up here, like right here. Ask your Mei to be peeking with right. Like actually, you can go even further. Like ask your Mei to peek with right clicks here, or Kron to throw a fire strike from here and bubble him here. Like I understand your hesitancy to bubble him when they're already push past this corner, but again, like I know it's a little bit annoying, but it's worth it, man. It's worth it. Like, if you're gonna be that much better, then it's gonna take that much more effort, and I think you need to be going for that. So again, like the personal bubble is fine, but you don't even try to build projected bubble charge between the fight. You don't even try and push up here or have your Ryan throw a fire strike here earlier. You don't even try. I want to hold your grab for grab may come up, but somebody wanted to win, but someone wanted to play for window first. Okay, so you can do that. Yeah, it's a lot harder. Like, you have to look at, like, Zarya's is, like, as Zarya's get better at using their bubbles, enemy teams get better at, like, not shooting the bubbles. So what I would say is, like, I would say higher ranked Zaryas are better, generally have higher charge later in fight, but lower charge early in fight, if that makes sense. Because their mid-fight bubbles are usually really good, but it's hard to get charge early in fight. But that doesn't excuse you for not trying. Golden Sea, thank you for the fall. Okay. All right, so you're saying that somebody wanted to play for window first. That's fine. Okay, so if you're playing for window first and you know they have any CC ultimates like Blizzard, then you guys need to play it really safe. Play it really, 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 really safe. So you would want to take angles, like use Kron as bait and then just window them from high ground. Artorius 4, thank you for the fall. So like play really, really safe because you can window first. So the problem with the confusion in the plan is probably that you guys miss position for window and then you guys get blizzarded. That'd be my guess. Let's see if my guess is correct. Like, you're already not positioned well for window. Because you're positioned as if you're going into grab aggressively, and, like, there's no angle here. There's no angle, and you're not in a safe position. Like, let's look at your team. Yeah, you're not positioned properly. Your BAP is, May is not really positioned properly, because optimally, if you're just going to go for window, then your May would want to be, like, here with you, not here. Oh, Psycho. Yeah. So, like, Psycho shouldn't have died. But Psycho also should not have been in this position, and you as a team are just woefully mispositioned. And it's because... Oh, man. You're just not positioned for the play that you're going for. Because you go for a window, but you're positioned as if you're going for an aggressive plan. The aggressive plan doesn't work out because Psycho gets picked off before you've even windowed, and then you grab on your own, but there's no May ult to follow up. But because there's no May ult to follow up, you are now there's no follow-up on your grab, and you're extremely vulnerable to their May ult. Yeah. I think if you call that you want to play for window first, that you immediately need to reposition the high ground here. Immediately. You are no longer safe. Yeah. I think yes was not your mistake, but you needed to, like, as soon as you call for, if that's what you're going to call, then immediately you need to get a high ground. You need to get off the floor. Quickly. British Hurricane. The, wait, what? You guys have another fight? British Hurricane is the, academy team for London Spitfire. Okay, you're gonna go for a clutch play, I assume, with your Reaper, which makes sense. This is what we would have wanted to see in the end of second. You guys have nothing, so like, you get a bubble Kron. I mean, this is really all you can do. Playing main wouldn't help you at all. You would just get run over with the beat along with the rest of your team. I mean, you gave your team an opportunity to clutch. Nothing you can do there. That was fine. That was good. You're welcome. Okay, so TLDR. Two positioning mistakes. One was being too close. The other one was not positioning for the plan that you had. Although that was almost, it was unfortunate because like you were positioned properly for the play that you were going for, but then the play changed. But by far the biggest error that we've seen is that your lack of effort in going for mid or between fight charge. It's either you're too scared unnecessarily or that you're not properly communicating it, and either one needs to be addressed because it's not like, oh well, they're pushing up here, I should probably save it. It's you clearly have time and you're not going for it. Okay, so that's generally what we're seeing. Graphs have been mostly fine. Positioning has been mostly fine, but I still want to keep an eye on it. Okay? Any questions, chat, so far? Yes. But it might not have been Alex's shot calling that... I mean, it almost certainly wasn't Alex's shot calling that led to that confusion. But still, Alex could have responded better by adjusting his positioning. Alex was positioned fine for the Grav May ult. They changed at the last second, and Alex didn't adjust. Air check. You've got to be cheeky. I think Alex knows that, given that. I mean, like, that last fight, he clearly knew it. He was on the flank. He knew what he had to do. He got a kill off of it. It just, wasn't enough. So, I would have liked to seen that in second, though. Yath returned. Nobody cares. Literally nobody cares. There we go. Now, I'm begging and pleading that you try and build some charge here. I mean, maybe. It depends on, what you guys want to do. Just like, that's it. I don't know if he communicated that or that's an accident, but just, I want more of that. And if it was an accident, then you need to communicate it. So you've always been the player that sometimes just doesn't communicate at all. It just depends on the situation. But you're way too smart for this, and you're way too good mechanically to gimp your contribution mid-fight because you don't want to ask for this stuff. You are everything in this comp. Like, we talked about this. You are the majority of the damage comes from Zarya here. So you should be taking, I want charge. And you going in 30 charge or 20 charge up on KSAA is going to be massive. So I really, really want to see more of this. I don't know if this is just an accident or not, but you can see, it can be done. It can be done. And don't make it a dice roll anymore. I don't care if you have to bubble your Lucio and make him wall right along the skyline. Found and Saturn, thank you for the follow. But it needs to happen. It needs to happen. Okay. Gonna go high ground. Now, chat, why do you think Team Blue is not walking through choke? Just because Team Red has angles, right? Because they'll get a big wall, number one. But honestly, even here, you get walled. What's the difference between getting walled here and getting walled here? It's the angles, right? It's the angles. It's the fact that their Zarya can peek this way, the Reaper can peek this way, they can be hiding behind the corner here. But if they walk out here, yes, you can get walled. But unless they have somebody hiding back in here, they have no angles. They can't shoot you from the back or in behind or freeze you or whatever. They have to walk directly at you. So Kron is probably fine. The only thing that could go wrong here is Kron gets pinned. And that's an extremely risky play from them. Look at that. Nothing. They can't do anything. So that's how it's done. Do you see, at the pro level, they, as a group, clear out an angle, and then they push main. But they don't, they clear out the angle first. Okay, so, let's see what we do. There we go. This is what we want to see. So before we saw how you were bubbling right before he got in melee range, I think this is better time. Let me look at this a little bit slower. Bang. Oh, no, you don't even bubble yet. Oh, no. He gets chunked. Yeah, that's actually unfortunate. His bubble is used, but Kron is too far away. They kited that really well. That's probably where it would have been better for Kron to just walk forward with a shield, almost. I'm not sure. That's really well played by them. The good news for you though is that they kite it at a cost, because they kite it, yes, and they save the projection bubble, yes, but they also lose the point. They lose the point, so it is a trade-off. And you're gonna get some charge off of this, which means that, that's the good thing, is even though you don't get any swings off of it, you get 40 charge off of it, which means that I need you to, if you keep pressure up, yes, they'll have projected bubble, but yes, they'll be low HP. So right now, Alex needs to angle himself a little bit and keep pressure up. He needs to watch out for wall, but keep pressure up. So keep spamming. Exactly, right here, right here. Do you see that? Helv doesn't even get a swing with a bubble. It's already broken. And they're dead. Brilliant. Okay, that was a situation where your charge literally carried that fight. The projected bubble was scuffed, but your charge carried the fight. Clear out the Zarya. Okay, you'll take it. You take it. It's not clean, but you'll take it. Nice. Brilliant. Brilliant right clicks. Oh, damage boosted right clicks. Okay, now save your bubbles until they push out. You're at no rush of doing anything whatsoever. Save your bubbles and grab if necessary. Donnie is feeding. Don't know what he's doing. Oh no, that's unlucky. Oh, that is so unfortunate. You guys are gonna lose this. Oh my gosh. Alright, we gotta talk about this. We gotta figure this out. What happens here? Holy moly. How do you grab with positional advantage and what looks like charge advantage too? No, not charge advantage here. You guys lose this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna blame you again. This has to be a communicational error. And like you have to, like, it's your ultimate. Like there can't be any confusion about like what's going on. Your bubble's also not on your Rhine. You bubble Psycho as well. Which obviously freeze is great, but like look at what happens to Kron. And so Kron doesn't even, Kron misses his swings. I don't think bubbling May there's the play. I think you bubble your Rhine. Because like the Rhine is what's going to force and break Lamp simultaneously, right? So like right now we're going to be getting 1 swing, 2 swings on Lamp while he's inside. I mean, you might even bait, you probably will bait Boop so that he won't be able to Boop at all. Oh, the bubble on the health pin. Jeez. And your Reaper's just in no position to push at all. Yeah. So this is a miscommunication and a bad bubble. And I have to just, again... Yeah. And I just have to emphasize that, yes, okay, it's not like the vanilla typical things that you're looking for to be done better by a Zarya, but like you have some responsibility over it. I mean, you guys remember when I talked about this, it's like if at all you can prevent it from happening, you need to do it. You need to take responsibility for it. Oh, it was an accident. Okay. But yeah, that's atrocious. That can't happen. So if there's any defense to you doing this, whether it's communicating better or what, then it needs to be done. Because that you can't lose fights like that, man. You know, it's like losing a 100-meter race because you forgot to tie your shoes. Yeah, it's goofy. It's not like, oh, you're a bad runner, but it's something you could have prevented and you didn't. So I'm sorry, that's just how it is. Okay, this is a very scuffed fight. Kron is taking way too much shield damage before you guys are ready. So Kron is... Yeah, so Kron is showing... Kron is just feeding. Kron is already down 600 shield and 150 HP. Like, he really should not be pushing until now. Like, now is when he should be showing shield. This is rough. Yeah, Kron just feeds. Okay, nothing you can do there. Kron just feeds. What's with the first John 2-2? It's a Bible verse. Look it up. It's actually a really encouraging Bible verse. Yeah, just Kron. Like, that's the thing, is like Kron wasn't committed, but he was still using resources. So by the time it was ready to commit, Kron couldn't commit, and then he dies. So that's just Kron feeding. Okay, again, you see they're clearing the angle. They're not leaving anything to risk. I would still like for you to attempt to build charge here, though. Like, I know you did it first fight, but this fight you've not attempted to build charge. The previous fight, obviously, Kron was way too far to build charge. If he had used bubble there, they could have rushed him and killed him. But you guys both pathed up here and even started a little here. There was opportunity, ample time for you to use bubbles to build charge. And so now you're entering this fight at 3 energy, guys. 3. Not good. Nice bubbles. Might be a huge death blossom, actually. It is a big one. This fight's now winnable as a result. They're all very low. They death blossom as well. Okay. That's okay. That fight was a very difficult one to win. It would have been a lot easier if you'd had charge, though. I highly recommend building charge. Like, broken record time. Why not take top and drop? Very easy to build charge and keep your BAP safe. So from up here, the problem with this rotate here is it's fine, it's good, but it's not always really necessary. Because your BAP is fine over here too. Like, your BAP is not really in a huge risk. And BAP being on high ground isn't necessarily even a very safe thing for him to be, at least in this position, because it's very easy for the enemy Mei and enemy BAP to poke him out. So like, it's almost safer for him to be here than it is here. If they're playing like Moira, maybe, but he could be shot here. It's easier for him to play here. And like I said, it's not 100% necessary. It could be oppressive, but then they could just like kite all the way back, and then your BAP has to drop, and then you've kind of accomplished nothing. So like, it takes a lot of extra time, and it's not always better. If that makes sense. It's not bad. Sometimes it is good, but yeah. All right, please get some charge here. You've got time. I mean, not great, but you know what? I'll take it. It's, again, well, like, we're sitting on like 25% success rate with you building charge between fights, though. But that is a bad percentage. You could probably impersonal bubble this again. They don't have CC ults. Did you guys just not see that TP? Nice bubble. Good discipline there. I would have bubbled earlier if I was playing Zarya, but that's why I'm not a pro. So that was good. You're just going to counter grab. There's your lamp. There's their lamp. Should be a free fight win. Okay. Check the Reaper. Reaper behind. Okay. Alright. I mean, nothing really special there. Bubble was fine. Timing was fine. Grab was fine. There were really no way that they could win that fight, outside of being more aggressive than they were. Please build some charge. Please build some charge. Please ask for some charge. Like, at this point, you can't, you know, it's too late, but, you know, whatever. We'll take that. Wait, what? What? Come on, man. How do you guys lose these fights? What's going on? All right, this can't be happening, y'all. All right. I don't know. Okay, Danye is just not playing very well, man. What is Danye doing? Where is Danye? Ah. Jeez, man. Chat, can we just take a moment to admire? This is why clearing angles matters, man. Fuki just checking his corners literally just hands Team Red the fight win. Because if Donnie's got his shift here, dude, this is a GG, man. So I don't know what Alex could have done better here. Like, let's watch. The bubble there is necessary because he's inside with the Reaper. Maybe you could have built charge earlier so you wouldn't have had to personal bubble, so you could have gone more aggressive later. I don't know. Even that's rough, though. Just back off. Just back off. Just back off. Run, run, run. They missed it. Okay. I don't think you have any DPS, though. Your Reaper's dead. Zarya is like the highest DPS, but you need some form of follow-up. Health doesn't LOS, though, so his shield's dead, so this should be good. Oh, we get shattered. Holy cow! This is so chaotic. Grab is fine. Okay. Okay, so I actually think you played that fight relatively well. There wasn't really any clear guidelines for how you to position there. There was no time to really set it up an off angle. I would have liked to have built a little bit of charge there, at least with a personal bubble before fight started. So once again, like, everything would be easier if you were just 30 more charge. But in terms of how the whole overall fight went down, your team just fed. Like, your team just, there's no reason you guys should have fed it. Like, lost that. Danye got cleared way too early. Kron got picked. Kron messed up his pen. Stuff like that. They probably won't be able to touch. Yeah. Stay high ground. Stay high ground. Stay high ground. Stay high ground. Would prefer you to stay high ground. 100 charge. Let's go. That's a trials fight? Yeah. That's some thirsty boys fight. Okay. Once again, please, number one, I would not hesitate using a personal bubble here for a little bit of extra charge. But you need, before you do that, you need to clear your angles. Like, they literally won last fight because their Reaper checked a corner. And it meant that you guys had basically no Reaper that fight. At least no proper Reaper. Don't not make the same mistake. And again, although it's not necessarily Zarya's job to always spy check, this is something that you should be calling and checking for. So hopefully you guys see this. Alright, cheers, mate. Thanks for stopping in. So let's see how we do. Good, clear the angles, clear the Lucio. Okay, we need to slow this down a little bit. This is going fast. Excuse me. Man, Donnie is just getting domed on Reaper, man. Now, the good news here is that even though you're down Danye, at least you have a little bit of an angle. So I need you to survive and bait. Hopefully this might still work out. Yeah, so you're baiting here. This is still relatively winnable. Okay, no longer. Okay. Probably would have preferred your positioning here to be off of cart. So especially now that you're charged, the bubble and cron necessary, but I don't, maybe your team probably called push with Mei. Yeah, never mind. I don't have anything. The last two fights have been relatively clean. They've just been scuffed plans. Your DPS are getting diffed. Yeah, I mean, I'm just Danya this round is not doing well. And it's Reaper. Like, whatever. Get charge. Charge, 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 charge. I mean, this is the problem. There's just like there's just no guarantee that you're just gonna be able to walk out and win the fight. Like, I can understand not waiting for charge if you're going for like a YOLO play or you're just gonna grab Mei and cheat it. But like, you don't have that luxury. You're trying to win the fight with just grab when you're not charged. You're literally doing 50% of your damage. I just don't understand. And not only that, well, actually that might be it. Like, where is the Reaper? Yeah, you guys again don't even really clear angles. You guys just kind of W key N instead of staging your fights. So like, the reason why this is important is because when you're building energy, you're also clearing angles and taking space. I just don't agree with this fight plan of just run in and grab. Don't build energy, don't check your corners, don't check angles, because the only time that type of fight plan works is if you have a combo, right? If you're just going to grab Mayo. You just have grab, you're 0 energy, and you have no angles. You're not going to get kills. They're just going to lamp it, and they're going to survive, which is exactly what happens. So, I don't know who made this plan and just decided to just W key with grab instead of building charge and checking angles, but it's a terrible fight plan. NKZ is now falling. Thank you for the fall. I mean, it's greedy. It's a guaranteed fight win, almost certainly. Like, it's almost impossible to counter if you get more than like 2 people in it, because they could double bubble and you can still kill them right through it, and there'll still be somebody hopefully else in the grab that they can't bubble for. But it's just bothersome how, like, I don't know if this is your fight plan to just W key in and just not build charge and not check angles, but it's bad. It only works if you have such an overwhelming amount of ultimates or an aggressive fight plan that's going to work. And you just now charged and the fight's over. And that's it. They win off of a Reaper flank and you being 0 charge. They're not. You guys are like pretending that having a single ultimate is enough to completely counter map control and just general positional advantage. It's like saying, hey guys, I'm not gonna bring there's a gunfight going on, but I'm not gonna bring any weapons because I work out. I mean, I guess that would help if it got to that point, but that doesn't mean you could just show up with unarmed. That's not how this works. Like, you have an advantage of grav, but even that is less than the advantage of having map control, having angles, having charge. Like, it doesn't compensate for that. And rushing things isn't worth it. And like the only time rushing things even makes sense is if you're trying to clutch or do something weird. That wasn't weird at all. You just walked in and grabbed. Like, I just don't understand. This is just poor. Okay, you're charged. Hey, 70 charge. Wow. Look at that. But now you have no ultimates. So, you know, fun. Okay. Good positioning. Helv is literally just kamikazing to buy time for his team. Nice. Okay, now here's what I want you to do. I want you to be very careful of where this Mei is positioned, because if this Mei is going to push this angle out, she has Blizzard, you need to be careful. If I were you, I don't know if like how much communication time you have right now, but I would legit have Psycho come up here with you and just solo ult the Grev, the Zarya. And if you guys do it first and like get the wall off, she's going to die. And they might even counter Blizzard, but it won't matter, she'll die. And then you guys can just take the high ground. Danye, what are you doing, man? And there's your projected bubble, and there's your shift. Okay, you're going in for a really aggressive play here. I think this is the plan. I think what you're doing there in terms of marking the Reaper is similar to what we talked about with the Zarya. I think it's the proper plan. As is, I think, that Shatter. It's just a shame you didn't get any kills. Okay, but you capped. I hope you capped. I don't know. Okay. Honestly, Alex, I think in general your positioning is good. I think in general your positioning is good. You did a really good job tracking enemy support ultimates and managing your positioning. But what has not been good has been your grabs haven't been great. They've not been amazing, but they've not been great. I mean, they've just been kind of like, there's questionable follow-up on your grabs consistently. You're not getting proper pins. Your Reaper seems to be MIA half the time, which again might not be your fault, but I would definitely look in your communication. And then the one on first where you walled the grab, like, did your team know that you were grabbing? I don't know. Like, maybe you said, I'm gonna grab, right? Like, then we hope that the wall is better. So like it's a little red flag for me that I don't know, but it looks like an issue. But by far, the most significant issue is that you do not take the time to build charge. You do not take the time to build charge before taking engagements, and it hurts you in the long run. Because you are consistently, like, average energy, I would bet the farm that KSA has got double-digit energy advantage over you. And not just because they've won probably one or two more fights. I guarantee you that you've got maybe like 54, 55%, maybe, and he's got 60 plus. And it's just because your mid-fight bubbles have been really good. Very little complaints about your mid-fight bubbles. I mean, you missed the one on Kron. You know, there was the one on Kron in second defense where you did it a little early before he was in melee range. But for the most part, I expect even the best Zaryas to miss a couple bubbles. And you missed only a couple. But your early fight charge is just horrendous. I don't know if it's respecting the enemy team's rush ability too much, not evaluating positioning enough, not communicating properly. But that has to happen. Right, exactly. Like there was the fights where you're like, oh, we can just go in and ult, but then you'd lose to a Reaper flank. It was like, ironically, you were happy to take fights with 0 ult charge, but it was that happiness that your whole team had of like, we don't need to do our homework. We're just going to use ults and win, and you'd still lose to clutch situations. So obviously, it's not really your job to clear Reaper out of angles all the time, but it's like that whole mentality that your team had of just rushing things. Like, we're just going to play brawl and press W key goats. Like, players have gotten smart. Like, a lot of these guys have played through goats meta. They understand that this W key in doesn't work. Like, that's just not how Overwatch is played at a high level. So I think like you not building charge was kind of a consequence of that. And you can also anticipate the enemy team is probably not going to do that much else. So like I said, I think like I think you played relatively well. I think your mid-fight bubbles were very good. I think they were very good. Like 95% of your bubbles were good. It was simply your lack of charge going into fights that was really significantly hurting you, and how much it looked like how you're communicating your graph. Is there anything else that you wanted to go over? So chat, this was pretty in-depth. This is like one step away from Overwatch League. This is top EU contenders, which right now is like just top contenders. I think the only region that's above EU is probably Korea. But you know, these are some of the best players in EU contenders, and these guys are contention and all have trialed from all positions, and they are trialing for an Overwatch League Academy team right now. So this is basically one step away from Overwatch League. So this is some pretty high level stuff. This is where like you have to be really nitpicky, and there's obviously, especially in a scrim environment, we have to start talking more about communication. You know, like we can't just like, it's not good enough that you just turn off voice comms and focus on your, you know, your plat gameplay. Like you have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to know what the game plan is. You have to be able to adjust. And so a lot of these things aren't really Zarya micro, or you should have right clicked here, because Alex is already mostly good at that. Especially with a hero like Zarya that's relatively basic in design, right? There's not a lot of little nitty quick tricks and tips and things and matchups. It's mostly just basic, but you have to get the basics right or you lose. Okay. What can Zarya do to turn the fight once your main tank dies? Abuse your angle. Like, you should be positioned so that if your main tank dies, you can still put out a lot of damage from an angle. And that, I mean, we saw a couple of fights in these where Alex would just murder the enemy team. The fight would devolve and he would just kill everybody. But yeah, that's... Hat charge CR, I think, for fall. It's a pretty big problem. I mean, you're probably right. It could be that... I mean, there's a lot. I mean, you'd have to ask Alex, like, why that situation is. Ripjaw, thank you so much for the raid, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Nanchi, thanks for the raid. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. But you also have to understand as well that Zarya has not been meta for a long time. Like, we're seeing some double bubble meta right now. We saw briefly where she was played a little bit in Brawl, but she, I mean, when has Zarya been meta since GOATS? I can't even think. It's been a long time. Like, she's been played, but she's not been meta. Because even with Brawl meta, it was mostly Diva. You'd see some Sigma. So, yeah. Yes. So the reasoning was, like, a lot of times why we were, so probably at least 2 or 3 of these fights where Alex wasn't building charge between fights was his whole team's mentality of, I think we can just use our ult advantage and win. But the red team was countering that very hard by Fuki just Reaper diffing, which meant that you guys were always getting, like, rushing in, but getting screwed up. As well as their defensive play against the rush game was really good. So they were defending those hard aggressions. The lamps were good. The bubbles against the pins were good. Kasara was very, very often defensively May ulting as well. Which was completely shutting down your aggro engages. So it was like, it was a team def. It wasn't so much of Alex. Luno, thank you so much for the sub, mate. Yeah, I mean, I think Team Red as a whole played better than Team Blue. I think Alex played very well, but I think as a whole. But that's the funny thing is, like, individually Team Blue could be better than Team Red, but like as a whole Team Red just functioned better. So that's the thing with team play, man, guys. You can never tell. People always say, oh, this player sucks, this player's bad, but like you don't really know. Like it just depends. Like the sum is the sum could be greater than the individual parts. You know what I'm saying? In my previous comment, what could be a long stand bad habit? Danye. I wasn't watching Danye all that much. Danye getting cleared in the mega health pack over here wasn't so much Danye's fault. Danye was positioned well. It was just Fuki doing a really good job clearing. But it did look like a lot of the times Danye was shooting and going aggressively. Like, you can even see it now. He's getting his shift force before the fight starts. That happened a lot. And I would encourage Danye to take angles and flanks and hide in spots where his team can actually follow up. Because him getting his shift force now means that he has to play defensive. He's bubbled as well. And right now, he doesn't want to have to play defensive. He wants to play aggressive, right? But he can't play as aggressive as he'd like because he doesn't have shift. So that was happening a great deal of the time. So cool, like, timing was really... The last fight he called the bubble aggressively, but he LOS'd me. Yeah, and like, yeah. So you were asking for charge there. Okay, so maybe that one wasn't his fault. But that happened multiple times where Danye had his shift force early. It happened on first cap. Remember when you guys lost that grab fight? I remember Danye was like, they were hiding in here, and Danye is just in here like tickling them, you know, and then he gets a shift force. Like, we do not like to see that. Okay. Right, exactly. Like, a lot of it is, and the nice thing though is like, I mean, obviously tier 2 is kind of not dying, but it's not doing great because it just doesn't pay anything. and we've talked about it before. It's not really Blizzard's fault. It's just the kind of the situation right now. But I mean, if it's Blizzard's fault, it's not because they're not putting enough money into it. It's just anyway. But if you have players like Alex who've been a long time, it is a lot of the time it is because the more and more metas that cycle through, the more practice players get. So yes, there are players that aren't very good at D.Va, but these players are better at D.Va than players of like a year and a half ago. Next time Sigma's meta, players are going to be pretty good at Sigma. It won't take them as long. So like over time, like yeah, the Zarya, like Alex Zarya could have been a lot cleaner. Bubbles 69, I think fall, but his Zarya was pretty darn good considering it hasn't been meta in forever. And you're going to see that over time. Like, you know, every single time the meta changes, the new hero or meta is picked up faster and faster and faster and faster. If you guys have paid attention in stream, I'm going to ask a question. Pay attention. What has been the consistent theme about how to play a composition on every composition I've reviewed? The ball tracer, the brawl comp. What has been the consistent? Yeah, exactly. It's angles. It's angles and map control and timing, right? So once I learned, like really kind of internalized the importance of angles and timing, it really wasn't as hard to learn new metas. It wasn't as hard to coach new metas. It really was just how does that concept apply to this meta? Like we look at the Reaper Meg composition and we go, okay, like who is good to take angles with? Who is good at taking map control? And then how long are the angles? Are they really long? Are they really short? Like how aggressive can you be with your angles? Okay, well there's the threat of Mei wall and Lucio speed, so you can't be as aggressive. So then you just kind of construct it around that, right? But you don't have to like spend years studying the meta like people did with goats to actually solve it. Like goats, the hilarious thing about goats is like it was just bubbles and angles, man. It was just bubble angles and ult eco and ult quality. Like, you know, pinning and bombing your own to grab. That was it, man. It was just angles and bubbles. That was it. But it took people like 6-7 months to figure that out. Overwatch League was a complete joke at the start of the season. Nobody knew how to play goats. Not nobody, but very few teams knew how to play goats. And I guarantee you, whatever the next meta is going to be, it's going to be angles and timing. It's going to be all over again. Cooldown usage shoot. I mean, right, but that's like the micro. The overall, like you always want to construct learning how to play meta. Like what are the big picture things, and then you can construct it individually, piece by piece, from there. And it's just funny because like how slow people were to solve that. But like in the future, like as metas evolve, like people are gonna learn and solve because it's the same stuff. It's like an algorithm. You just plug the numbers in. Okay, this is how you play Overwatch. How does that affect this meta? And then you just do it over and over and over and over again. So I think like that's something that like we can like take away is like the level of play should increase over time because you're not relearning the game every single time a new meta comes in. It's just learning how it applies to this meta, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm a little distracted because I'm looking at something. Okay. Do you guys have any last questions before we finish up? So would you say your previous statement that figured out Overwatch could be revamped from positioning and timing to angles and timing? I mean, no, because I think positioning is a broader term. Because I think positioning isn't just about angles, it's about playing corners, it's about playing the distance properly, it's about positioning dependent on the ultimates that you have or the enemy has. I think angles and timing is a little specific. It's like angles is probably the biggest part of positioning, but corner is also a huge, corners and cover or is also a really big, and distance as well and context. So I think positioning is just the overarching thing that covers the bigger stuff. Ping patchy thing for the fall. So if that makes sense. But yeah, I think position covers the big picture better. And don't forget, it's positioning and timing and your plan or / leadership. And like leadership is like the biggest part of planning, but like it's planning as a whole. Like I would say planning is like positioning, and then leadership is like the angles part of it, you know? What will be the next BH look like in my opinion? I'm not gonna say. It's not my team, and I would, by excluding some players, I would be calling them out for not being as good as I think. Maybe I would do that at the Overwatch League level, but I don't like my Contenders brothers. I like those EU Contenders, man. Those guys are good players. They work hard. All of them deserve an opportunity. It's just a shame that not everyone can get it. So, like, we'll see.